Did you hear about the new COVID-19 variant?
No, I have not.
So they say it's not an issue, even though it could be an issue, because they always say that.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what they called it?
What?
Omicron. Do you know what Omicron is from?
Well, there's a lot of stuff.
Specifically,
Futurama,
it's Futurama.
Omicron per CIA.
Yeah. Is there another one?
Yeah, there's the Dreamcast and PC game Omicron, directed by David Cage and featuring David Bowie. One of those two people is great.
The one that's great is dead as well, so rip in peace.
R.I.P. David Bowie.
Yeah. Yeah. What the fuck? Never mind.
What?
I don't know. Twitter sucks now. Now that there's no like elections happening, I'm just so bored all the time.
That's true.
I'm like CNN losing like 90% of their viewership.
That's true. It's like I can't just like click on shit and be angry.
Yeah. All I go on here is just see big anime titties and send them to Anthony and hoping that in like the last stretch of No Nut November he fucking fails.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, do you want to hear something stupid?
Always.
Kamala Harris reportedly spent over $500 on cookware in a Parisian shop amid U.S. economic uncertainty.
That article was definitely written by a man who does not cook, because that is not a lot of money for cookware.
Yeah.
That's the guy who walks into Walmart and sees like those deals for like $20 for like 5 pans. He goes like, "That's all you need, right?"
She bought a Le Creuset. Like it's like a fancy company.
I'm sure it is, but like I don't know. I'm not familiar with it.
Anyway, somebody was like, "Yeah, also, Trump paid $130,000 to pay off Stormy Daniels to not say that he slept."
Oh, it's a specific kind of pot. Well, like it's a brand pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Le Creuset is like a Dutch oven.
Okay, so it's like fancy.
Yeah, but also it's like, yeah, those Dutch ovens are fucking expensive. If this is,
they're expensive.
I'm seeing the word Le Creuset and I've never actually heard that before. So I'm gonna click on it and check. It's for making stock, which is also what a Dutch oven is for.
Yeah.
Those things are. I have one on my on like.
God forbid if I was the fucking vice president and I wanted to buy a fucking sous vide machine. God forbid that I'm like, I like to cook. Yeah.
I would like the best things to cook with.
I make money from doing my job and am willing to spend it on
Well,
things.
let's be fair. As we know, the vice president doesn't actually do that much.
Sure.
They do like appearances.
Okay, I make money. I have money, and I'm willing to spend it.
Yeah, and that's actually good. It's good to spend your money. It's
like,
good for the economy.
Like you could be like, oh well, it's not a necessity, so therefore the vice president should be paid less. I'm with you there, but like it's not her fault for buying a pot. I don't know. It seems like a non-issue.
Yeah,
seems like a real non-controversy.
I'm like looking through this.
Mm-hmm.
It's enamel coated stainless steel. That's also
so it's like what, $500 for a fucking pot? Who gives a shit? It's French.
From Kitchen Smart, like the website. You can get it for $169. That's on sale. It's normally $220. But all I'm saying is, I'm sure she didn't spend $500 on this one pot.
Maybe she bought a couple.
She probably got a couple of things. Yeah, exactly.
That are fancy and expensive
There's
because
a guy,
she's rich and allowed to buy fancier shit.
There's a guy I follow on TikTok who does like chef stuff.
Yeah.
But mostly it's about how good he is at like chopping. That's like his thing. Because he tries to educate people on like how to use the claw and all that. And he's like really fast. But he's always like advocating for going to this knife shop in Toronto.
Yeah.
That only sells knives, but every knife they sell is like $300.
Yeah, but it's like, if you're a professional chef,
yeah, you should be spending that much.
You should be spending good money on
knives.
knives.
But then also before someone goes like, but Kamala Harris isn't a professional chef, so.
Well, we're talking about a pot, not a chef. Maybe she needed to make stuff that needed specific shit.
Yeah, and also professional grade. Like,
there's
not a big difference
I'm not
between
a professional
and consumer.
Sure,
and like,
I'm not a
kitchen
professional chef, But if somebody for Christmas got me like a fancy knife set, I wouldn't be like, "Oh, this is fucking wasteful." Actually,
I would say it's wasteful because you really only need like 2 knives. Like that fucking knife block in my house. Wish it wasn't there. There's 2 knives in it that I use and also all the steak knives, but all the steak knives could be in a drawer, not taking up counter space.
I like knife sets. There's like different types of knives for different types of meat that you can use that you're definitely gonna have a better time with.
Well, it depends on like if you're carving a roast, you want to use like a serrated knife, or you get the fucking like electric knife thing, like a carver. Same with if you're carving a turkey. That's if you're carving something though. I don't need it on my counter constantly. Also, the knife we have for like that's serrated is definitely for bread, and it is only like it's not long enough to cover a whole roast.
Okay, so you got a big bread knife though. You need that.
I'm just saying, knife blocks are stupid
I think they're fine.
because they just take up space.
Well, no, they store your knives that
take
would
up space.
otherwise take up drawer space.
Yeah, but the drawer has a lot of space and it's out of the way.
But a knife block also looks nice.
I don't think so.
Well, maybe yours doesn't. I don't know.
Do you want me to go upstairs and look at your mom's?
My mom has a special thing in the drawer that's a magnet thing to have all her fancy knives stick to.
Yeah, that's sick.
That's cool, but it's also.
Have you ever seen the one that goes on the just the magnet strip across like the wall that you put above the stove that you can like stick just metal
I wouldn't
utensils
trust that shit.
My dad had one. I do.
I don't know.
Like the thing. It had to be like
my brain is like that's a recipe for disaster because the knives are up in the air, and if they stop fucking sticking,
but it's not sticky. It's okay, but it's not like it's a sticker. It's a magnet.
I know it's a magnet, but
it would be very hard to depolarize it.
I know. It's just my brain is like that seems unnecessary. Put it in the fucking drawer.
Yeah, also, you probably should. Yeah, knives. They shouldn't be suspended above anything.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Just in case.
It shakes the wall. There's an
earthquake, and the fucking knives are coming off the wall to kill you.
Well, they're not. They'd have to fly off the wall. They wouldn't have to fucking. Like if they fell, the worst thing would be if they fell. They're like, oh no, either my knife is now like damp, like the tip got blunted, or I had wooden countertops.
Yeah.
And now I look like a fucking child went at it.
Or it came off the fucking wall and stabbed you to death. Now you're dead. You look like a dipshit.
That sounds exciting.
It sounds exciting, but you'd also look like a dipshit. Anyway, this is the Media Hole Podcast. It's a weekly podcast in which me, my close friend Ian, talk about all kinds of news and things in the media and in the world and in gaming and in entertainment and in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Mostly the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
We're a Marvel Cinematic Universe podcast.
I'm reading. I was going through my. We're a Marvel Cinematic Universe podcast until Harley Quinn comes back,
or Peacemaker.
That too. So I'm reading an article right now because I was just like looking up some news. Because as we discovered before we started recording, Nathan didn't write down any news this week.
I wrote down one news.
You wrote down one piece of news, and I was driving for 50 hours. So, I've just and I'm like, you know how when you open up like Google Chrome, they'll have like suggested articles at the bottom.
Yeah.
There was a article called like Halo Goodbye. How one video game changed my perspective about a whole genre. But I'm reading it and like it sounds like it's going to be negative. It sounds like how you would talk about Halo prior to playing Halo 1 and 2.
Okay.
Where you were just like disrespectful of it because it looks like military shooty game. And that there wasn't like anything good beyond. Like it was like Call of Duty but with aliens.
I stand by it as Call of Duty.
How dare you?
No, I've played
Halo. It
takes
takes longer to kill them.
You're right. It takes longer to kill them. You can drive. You can drive car.
Yeah.
I'll give you that. You can drive car. The levels are a lot longer than Call of Duty levels. For good and for bad.
I would say a lot of the time good in the future games.
Yeah.
AKA Halo 3, which has the longest levels, but they're all really cool.
Yeah, like
in my opinion.
In Halo 1, some of the levels are just long because they're like, go all the way through this level and then go back all the way through it again. And I'm like, fuck you. But yeah, no, Halo's cool, I guess, because like it came first. It's got great music. And it like kind of was the first real console FPS to be a huge deal. I mean, like Doom, but like not Doom wasn't a console game. It was an FPS game that had console ports. But
Yeah.
like GoldenEye and Halo are like the first two like built for console first-person shooters that really like started the first-person shooter boom of the 2000s and early 2010s.
I don't know what this guy's opinion of Halo is anymore, and I don't care to keep reading because I also have to, be engaged with what's going on here.
Yeah. Yeah, all I'm getting is Miyazaki's making a new movie. Yeah, I don't know.
Miyazaki's making a new movie. It's called I Hate My Son. The story of a man who's just an
Hates
asshole.
his son.
Yeah, a man who never spent zero time with his children growing up, and then when they grew up to not be the artistic, depressed geniuses he is, he goes, "Wow, you should really stop."
Mm-hmm. That's great.
Yeah.
Apparently
Miyazaki, visionary genius, total fucking piece of shit.
Sony patented a controller that looks like a fucking Switch.
Well, like it's gonna have a screen on it.
So stupid. It might as well be a Wii U controller.
It's one of those controllers you see advertised to you when it's like, oh, are you tired of little fucking pissed baby Joy-Cons on the Nintendo Switch?
And like,
and it is the Switch controllers with like the fucking like
with some like handles.
Yeah.
Honestly, though, those are better than the Switch controllers.
Oh, for sure. But I think the Switch control. Actually, I'm gonna hold your Switch for a second.
It's like not the most comfy thing in the world to hold. It's no PS Vita. I'm sorry, I have to say it every time.
I know you do.
People need to know it existed.
I don't know. I think it's perfectly fine. I think they are a bit too small.
I think they're a bit too small for my large gamer hands, and
yeah,
I know.
I think also the fact that it relies on because there's no handles.
Yeah.
But also it has to go into the docking system.
Yeah.
That's why there's no fucking handles.
What
people don't understand about it is like, yeah, it's a.
They're not very
console.
like ergonomic. You know what I mean? Like it's
because
like people.
It rests in the center of your palm, which like
isn't super comfy.
As time goes on, as like extended playing, as I have done in my car.
Yeah. You start to get your like hands and wrists
cramped. You get like that red mark in the center.
Yeah.
You have to hold it like this pretty much. You can't play down with it like this. Well, you kind of can, but it's better to do it like up here. You can't double up on the triggers like how some people like to. Personally, I'm too stupid for it, so I always have to switch back and forth. Like if I do that, I didn't raise myself doing it.
Yeah, I do both. It depends on the game.
The buttons are. I never had this issue, but some fat-fingered friends of mine.
They're little small buttons. Yeah,
they are small buttons, but I think you can easily hit each button.
It's not 3DS level.
No, and even then, I think the 3DS is fine. I think the 3DS buttons are just more sunken in.
I think the 3DS buttons are kind of poo.
Yeah, the right stick and left stick are kind of uncomfortable. Like I get that that's how we if you're not PlayStation, this is how you do controllers.
Yep.
And the Steam controller, I guess, where your analog options are like.
Yeah, the Steam controller is actually opposite the Xbox controller, where the right stick is at the top and the left.
It's a reverse
at the
PS5 controller.
No, it's not, because the PS5 controller is like normal. It's
Isn't
reverse.
I feel like there was
controller.
one controller where like both sticks were up top.
Above the buttons.
Yeah, I think the idea is that like this is the neutral place where you have your thumb on the face buttons, and then the thumb on the left analog stick.
Yeah.
But then it's just like there's a lot more games on this than Nintendo is used to that require extended use of the right stick. Like if Nintendo's like the kind of motherfucker who would be like, why would you need a right stick when you can just turn the character and press the camera button? I think it's so funny that
the dual analog stick was originally Sony being like, because the PS1 and the N64 came out around the same time. The PS1, if you remember, the original controller just had the D-pad and the buttons. And then the 64 comes out with the one analog stick, the dog shit analog stick that feels like garbage and hurts your hand.
Yeah.
And it came out, and then Sony, like the DualShock was just like, you got one analog stick? Fuck you. Here's two.
Yeah.
And then, like, meanwhile, that's, like, the way controllers are, because it's, like, actually it was brilliant, but it was never meant to be this smart thing. It was always just like, yeah, you got one, we got two, bitch, eat my ass.
Yeah, so it's just with the Switch. It's just, like, if you're put, like, Metroid Dread.
Yeah.
With, like,
you do not need the right stick in Metroid Dread.
No, absolutely
Other
not.
than to turn on stealth, because you click the right stick to be stealth.
Yeah, but
which
then
is
also
dumb.
because of that, you can just do this. Yeah, but at least, here's the thing. How much have you played of Dread?
A little bit.
Every button is used in Dread.
Yeah.
So it's like, clicking the right stick is just the last option.
Yeah.
Because clicking the left
It's
stick...
just weird because you get the click the right stick option before you get some of the other ones.
Yeah. So it's like, why can't I use my ZR or ZL or R and L are already like... R is missiles and L is free aiming. But it's like, what's these other ones doing? And then you get to the end of the game and they're like, oh wait, ZL is slide.
Oh, yeah.
Then ZR, it's like, what is this one for? And then you get to the end of the game, it's like, okay, fine, fuck you. And then clicking in left stick starts your fucking sprint.
Oh, it does? Okay.
Well, it's like Fusion, where Samus is always running, as opposed to Super, where you had to hold down B for her to run. So now that she's always running, you needed something to activate your Shine Spark mode, pretty much.
Yeah.
Your speed booster. So instead of it being like, oh, you just have to run and it will automatically start.
Yeah.
It was like you click in the stick and she has like little jets on her back that will start to like activate as she runs.
Yeah.
It doesn't actually increase your speed.
I like the game, but I'm at a point where I'm like, fuck, I don't know where to go.
Or is it the Jaffe part?
I have no idea.
I'm just gonna open up your game.
All right.
Because I'm holding a Switch, I might as well.
Yeah. I don't think it's at the David Jaffe part because most of the holes are pretty obvious because they're red.
So you've beaten the first boss. You encountered the Emmy and Katara's. Yeah, you beat the first boss because you have the Phantom Cloak.
Yeah. Okay.
Did you?
Yes.
Did you?
Yeah, right. I forgot about him. Yeah, the fucking big monster guy.
You know what you might have to do? You probably have to go back to
See, the problem is I'm at a point where I can't go back to where I came from because, like, I need the morph ball.
You should be on your way to get the morph ball. I know you can because you have to get to the morph ball. So the way the game wants you to do it, is it wants you to get the morph ball, and then it wants you to go into this red teleporter in Kataris, that thing with the 3 symbols.
Yeah. Because
then it takes you back to down to Arteria.
Yep.
And then when you go up from the spot you come out of the red teleporter at.
Yeah.
That's where you get the Varia suit.
Okay.
So then once you have the Varia suit, where
because I need to be able to go in the hot rooms.
Yeah.
It's funny because she can't go in hot rooms and she can't go in cold rooms, and I'm like, bruh.
Well, the hot rooms thing is because it's like extreme heat.
Yeah.
The cold rooms is just like her Metroid DNA.
Yeah.
Doesn't allow her to go into the
I know, but I'm like, bitch, you're wearing a suit. You should be able to go in the cold.
I think it's
you go in space.
Well, she doesn't go out into space. She goes into a ship that goes into space.
Yeah.
The only time I feel like it's ever shown that she's more in space is like Metroid Prime.
Yeah, you're right. And that takes place before Future.
Yeah. And also, she loses all her power-ups in this game anyways.
She loses all her power-ups in every game. It's like, bitch keeps tripping and dropping like 80 fucking power-ups.
I think this one... At first I was like, oh, it's so cool. She loses her power-ups because she, like, fought a boss that beat her. And, like, that's what caused her to lose them all. And then I'm like, oh, wait, that's, like, how it is in every Metroid. Like, in Super Metroid, it's because she encounters Ridley again.
Yeah. It would have been cool if they did do like the beginning of Super Metroid. Was it Super Metroid or is it one of the other ones? I think the beginning of Super Metroid, because the beginning of Super Metroid, you go to like, you have a little bit in a different location where you're fully powered, and then you get to the main location.
Yeah.
And you're depowered. I think that's cooler to have like the
game or they show you a state where you like think you're super powerful, and then you like, you know how you talk to Adam a bunch in this game. there's like a point where you look like Samus from the beginning.
Yeah.
Like where you have the Varia suit on again.
Mm-hmm.
You have like all the other visible upgrades she has. But then you go talk to Adam, and he's like, "Nah, you still are not strong enough to fight Ravenbeak." Yeah.
Yeah. I like. Everybody talks about how cool it is that at the beginning of Symphony of the Night, you get like a fully powered Alucard at the start, and then you lose all your shit.
I like mid-powered. Like a game where you,
I don't know.
it
Maybe
feels like
it's
you have.
not, I don't know if it is fully powered, but it feels fully powered.
You
because
feel strong.
You're killing every enemy in one hit.
You're
should. Like you've got like a cool echo trail behind you. You're like, fuck yeah, bitch. And then
Yeah, but I think games like honestly, you know what? I think Mass Effect would have been pretty cool if like Mass Effect is pretty cool.
Yeah.
But if like in the first mission
of
one as well.
Yeah.
Because Commander Shepard's already been like this powerful Marine in the Alliance military for like quite a while. If like the first mission you got like half of all your shit filled up, so in that tutorial you were able to toy around with like the things you could get.
Yeah,
and then after your injury or whatever,
I think it'd be cooler if that was the beginning of 2.
Yeah,
because it makes a bit more sense.
But I think they wanted to hide collectors a bit more and just wanted you to get decimated like immediately.
Yeah,
you know, as a shock thing, like
they destroyed your entire ship,
but then they let you come back like immediately, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
like it's like, oh my god, Commander Shepard is dead, and then it's like Cerberus is rebuilding him. Yeah.
Was Cerberus okay? Because I never played Mass Effect 1. Was Cerberus mentioned in 1?
They are in a bunch of side missions.
Okay.
They are monsters.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like they kind of hide it in Mass Effect 2.
They don't hide
well, they try and make it look like ambiguous, or like maybe they are doing things for the good of humanity, but they're also just racist. They actually did like experimentation on like humans and stuff in a way of like trying to, like, they were trying to Deadpool people.
I feel you.
Yeah, so like there's a bunch of places you would go where it's like there's a bunch of humans here and they're beyond deranged because Cerberus like treated them like monsters, or like they're kind of in Mass Effect 2. You know, like those human looking things, husks that like pop out of the ground when you're in the collector ship.
Yeah, they're
like a common enemy you fight because the Geth turn humans into husks. But also it's stupid because they show up in places where it's like why are you here?
Yeah.
Like when you go find the Moo Relay on fucking Vermeer, it's like there's human husks there, and it's like, but humans, no one has stepped on this planet in thousands of years. Did the Geth bring them there?
Maybe they weren't human husks.
They were, because they, as you see, like the collectors are a result of getting like having the same thing happen to them.
Do you ever notice how like every science fiction world has like a group of people that were like an advanced alien civilization that existed before but don't exist anymore?
Yeah. And Mass Effect really fucked it up by showing you not one but two of them.
The Protheans, right?
They show you the Protheans in Mass Effect 3.
Yeah, because one of them joins your team.
You get Javik, who is like Liara tries to like engage with him, like he's supposed to be the super genius, and Javik is just like, I was a commander. I do not know any of these. And then also there's a DLC where you meet up with the Leviathans, which are the creators of the Reapers.
Damn.
And it's like, wow, you fucked that. You fumbled the ball there. At least with the Protheans, it was like, we figured out that there is a cycle and we tried to stop it and failed to.
Yeah.
And then, but then you meet the Leviathans, and they were just like, we are otherworldly Cthulhu, like, monsters, but we are the creators of the Reapers. And their Reapers turned around and wiped us all out.
Yeah. Like,
turned pretty much like if...
And Halo has the 5 runners.
What'd you call them that?
Halo
has the Forerunners, but then they reveal in like the later games and the books, the Forerunners were just ancient humans. And that Earth was like a colony or something that humans were left behind on. That were like meant to like grow and survive.
And the space engineers are in Alien and Prometheus.
Prometheus is that the villain from 4?
What?
What are you talking about? Oh, you're talking about Alien.
Yeah.
Okay, my bad. Because I believe one of the villain of 4 has like a similar name. Oh no, it's the Didact. What am I thinking of?
From like Mass Effect 4?
No, from Halo 4.
Oh, I don't know.
Halo has definitely the worst lore, in my opinion. Like, it's all hidden. It's not in the games. It's just like, you honestly, when I was looking, my entire childhood, I thought the Prophets were just Sangheilies without helmets on. But they're not. They're like a completely different race, but you only see the Prophets.
Yeah.
So it's like the Sangheili are just like people who saw these 4 alien beings to them, and we're just like, I guess we'll follow them.
Yeah.
And then same with the brutes, and the grunts were subjugated, and the jackals were also. So it's like they didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, but there's a man who got trapped inside of an orb, and he's trying to kill the entire galaxy, but as repentance for what he did. Oh, fuck off. The Flood is an ancient alien that just like kills everything, and they're mindless except for when they aren't.
Yeah, I don't think like any mindless creature could be like, I am a monument
To all your sins. Yeah.
That's some shit you gotta be smart to say.
Halo is like a fucking, what if there was a guy who could beat the shit out of the alien from Aliens? Like, like go toe to toe.
Well,
it's like, what if Ripley was in the fucking power loader all the time?
Basically, every Space Marine thing is inspired by Aliens / Warhammer 40k. I forget which one came first.
I would say that they exist separately from each other.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like StarCraft and Warhammer 40k. Like, StarCraft is a ripoff of Warhammer.
Well, like, but all Space Marines come from Alien 2, and like that is the first appearance of that type of character.
Alien 2?
Yeah, Aliens. Yeah, that's the first. That's like the first thing Space Marine comes from.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like Doom, that's fucking Aliens.
Warhammer 40k. Let's see. 1987.
Okay, Aliens came first.
The first edition of the rule book was published in 1987.
Aliens came first.
Okay,
because
cool.
Aliens, I think, was 82.
So yeah, Aliens is like there's Space Marines.
Yeah.
Who still get fucked up by the alien.
Yeah.
And then Warhammer was like, we don't. Warhammer doesn't even have aliens.
No, there's lots of aliens. They're just like based on.
Aren't they all like humans though?
No, so there's human Space Marines that work for like the Empire, who are bad, like pretty clearly fasci. Although apparently Games Workshop has not been very good about deprioritizing that, like because a lot of fasci people really like the Empire in Warhammer 40k.
Warhammer's like a religious fascism with like everything.
Yeah, yeah. So like some IRL people really love the Empire who shouldn't. But yeah, so like, but there's also, I've told you this before, so there are orcs in Warhammer 40k. They're one of the alien species.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, but orcs are dumb. Like, how do they have spaceships? It's things that the orcs build work the way the orcs believe them to.
Amazing.
So
that's like super powerful.
They can make a spaceship out of fucking wood. If they just think it'll work.
So I have the factions here.
Mm-hmm.
So the Empire is the Imperium of Man.
Yeah.
They are an authoritarian human empire that comprise approximately 1 million worlds. It has existed for over 10,000 years.
Yeah.
There is Chaos, which I believe is the orcs. Or no, it just says represents the myriad servants of the chaos gods.
Okay.
And it kind of looks like if they're like green, you could say they could say they're an orc if I don't find it later on in this this Wikipedia article, but they just kind of look like a fucked up Space Marine.
Okay.
They look like it's like what World of Warcraft actually ripped off.
Yeah.
And then you got the Necrons, which are an ancient race of skeleton-like androids. Mm-hmm. They just actually, you know what? It kind of looks like Revenant from Apex Legends, which I know you don't play, but like it. Maybe probably
you the grapple hook boy.
No, that's Pathfinder. Revenant is similar to that guy, except it's something from Titanfall. Simulacrums.
Oh, okay.
He was a man, and he got his brain either
Uploaded into a robot body.
Yeah, and now he's like an assassin, but he's like simulacrums are deeply fucked up. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know if they went into that in Titanfall 2 with like Ash, because she's the only simulacrum I know that's in Titanfall 2, and you also like rip her apart, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I don't remember that much.
She's one of the enemy pilots you fight against.
Yeah, I don't think most of the enemy pilots don't get that much character. I know people who are like obsessed with the story mode are like, actually, you can figure out all these things if you pick up the dock.
If I have to read additional material in the game that's like saying, "Oh, Destiny actually has amazing lore," you just go read it on Bungie's website.
Yeah, but I don't know. Listen, in Titanfall 2, you get to run on wall, jump, travel through time to land on the wall, to jump, to land on the wall, to jump. That's Titanfall 2 to me. That's like the moment, and that's the thing that's gonna stick with me the most because it's fucking awesome.
So he's like a man who, like, when he looks in the mirror for briefly, he sees like his past life, but then it like very quickly fades away, and he's like, "Oh, I'm a killing machine," and he goes and kills the people who does that stuff to him, and that's why he kills like Loba's dad. So then you got the Eldari.
Okay,
they're just ugly high elves. Yeah. That's
because you can tell that.
Then we have orcs.
Yeah, you can tell because like Warhammer 40K is just like that. The way it works is like we've adapted all of the Warhammer shit, which is like medieval, into space. So you can see like, okay, yeah, there's just fucking orcs here.
Yeah, orcs are just an alien race. That's it. Then you got Tyranids, which are like bug people.
Love a good bug guy.
They're an alien race from another galaxy, though.
Forager.
So I think Tyranids are like their biggest bad. The Ta'au are a race of blue-skinned aliens inhabiting a relatively small but growing empire located on the fringes of the Imperium of Man. They are the non-racist race. They are an alien race that allows other races to join their empire.
Oh, that's cool.
And that's the last of them.
Nice.
So you know why people in Warhammer, you know why people like the Imperium of Man, even though they're authoritarian, fascists, and all that?
Because they look cool.
Because they're the human faction.
That too.
Yeah. That's why it's like why people think the Alliance in World of Warcraft is the best one. Because they have the humans there, and it's like, bro.
But most people don't think the Alliance is good. Everybody I see who likes World of Warcraft is like the Horde.
Because you're only seeing the smart people.
Okay, that's
the fair. Alliance did big racism to the Horde, and only the undead faction has ever actually done bad things to like other. The undead are the scourge.
Yeah,
like they are literally actually beings of evil that. Because of Sylvanas Windrunner's like grudge against the Arthas, that she gave them back their free will, and she asked them to serve, and then they decide to serve under her. She's like, whatever, you can do what you want. But then the undead kind of go like, well, we owe you our second life, so we will serve under you. And then there is characters in World of Warcraft that don't want to because they still have allegiance to the humans, despite the fact that humans now hate them.
Yep.
Because humans are just slaves to the religious order. Like, there's no pope in the fucking World of Warcraft universe because the king is the pope. Like, that kid's name, I can't remember it anymore. Yeah. But once again, no good Halo lore.
Yeah.
Also, I was saying, you know what? Mass Effect has like some decent ones, but it's mostly just because they have an interesting cast of aliens.
Yeah.
Like, there's not a lot of interesting stories that are told. Everything kind of feels like there is nothing deeper than the brief history you get of the other like alien species and stuff, where it's like, oh, here's the non-council races, like the little fucking the Volus, the circle fat like little guys who are like all merchants and shysters, or
that's kind of racist.
What?
Like that they would have a class of people that are a completely different alien race that's all like
they're all merchants.
Yeah. Isn't that That's a little bit, you know.
I'm sure they were just like...
BioWare?
I think they were just trying to make like a... I don't know. Like...
BioWare?
Then you got the Batarians, which are just ugly humans, and you do big genocide to them constantly.
Then you've got the only good aliens from Mass Effect. The ones that say exactly how they feel.
Yeah, I can't remember their name. I love those guys. Elcor.
Angry. Please
Grateful.
leave.
Welcome to my shop.
Yeah.
In questioning, would you like to buy anything?
Love that.
Yeah. In admiration, thank you for retrieving these documents.
Yeah.
Horny, would you suck this Elcor cock?
Would you suck this Elcor cock?
Yeah. And then you got the Hanar, which are just space jellyfish, which they worship a group of gods called the Enkindlers, which it turns out they're the Reapers. And that's why they are bad, and we shouldn't let them hang around. And then you got the hot bitches.
Yep.
A.K.A.
the
Turians. Oh, what?
No, the Solarians are the hot bitches.
No, that one's not true. Then you got the Quarians, the mysterious bitches. But also in the remake, you can see her face more. She just has a human face. She's a human face with like purple markings, or she has like glowing markings on her face, but she's just purple.
Damn.
And they also fixed that if you like actually let her die in Mass Effect 3, very avoidable, but also very hard to like some bullshit you have to do in Mass Effect 2 purely.
Yeah.
To like see for Tali to live. If she dies, they fixed it. It's not just that stock photo they painted purple. It's like a new actual character design.
Great.
Yeah. Then you got the Krogans. Turtle people. They can't fuck.
Because of genocide.
Yeah, because of Native American genocide.
Yep.
Yeah.
I want to do a space thing, but where every alien is like pretty fucking human, just because like
going off the basis that it's like for something to survive on a planet and become intelligent life, you would need to be like a biped.
Yeah.
Hopefully featherless.
Yeah, like depending on like the climate. Would you ever notice how like in space shit every planet is basically only either a city or a country level of different from normal, like from the humans? Yeah,
and it's always like humans still have this drastically like varied planet
where it's like then you're from Germany and I'm from fucking America, and we're very different culturally. But also, these people are all from the same planet, and they're all the same.
Yeah. And, like, it's like, oh, Garrus, where are you from? Palaven. It's like, oh, here's this other fucking, like, Turian. It's like, where are you from? And they're like, also Palaven. And it's like, but where on Palaven? And they're like, Palaven.
It's a whole planet, homie.
Yeah. It's like, I think
that's why I think Coruscant is a piece of brilliance, because it's a planet that's also a city, and it's like, okay, that's fair.
Yeah, I think
it's like
Andromeda.
That's at least believable that it'd have one culture because it's a whole city.
Because Andromeda was more about charting out like undiscovered planets and then meeting up with like the alien races that had already made it to the Andromeda system, or like the ones that had already existed there. They have like you play through a lot more varied planets. Like the first one you land on, where you encounter like the first enemy species in the game, is like very bland, like gray thing, but it's like vertical, so that it introduces like the jetpack and shit. And then you go to a desert one, but the desert is like pretty like vibrant, like red colors.
Yeah.
And like the sun, it's like looks like fucking not boring Tatooine.
Yeah.
And then then one of the planets you go to afterwards is just like you're in a fucking purple jungle. It's always night. Literally, that game like had really good place settings, but also really bad ones because it was open world.
I don't remember if they established this in the TV show, but you know the Gotham City in equivalent in the Invincible universe was cursed by a wizard to always be nighttime.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
I always think that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah.
It's a funny joke.
Yeah, it's a good bit.
Yeah, because Gotham City is practically always at night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the bit that I said where when I was doing my rewrites of like movies just for fun, my rewrite of Batman v Superman kept them as Metropolis and Gotham as two islands next to each other, but there's a bit in the script where I forget who it was. I think Lex Luthor. Mm-hmm. Lex Luthor is in a limo.
Yeah.
And and the limo drives across the bridge into Gotham. And so like he drives into Gotham. You see like it's nighttime, there's an alleyway, there's gargoyles.
Uh-huh.
And he steps out of the car and the camera whips around and you can see behind him is Metropolis, and in Metropolis it's daytime. Just because I thought that would be really funny to do in a movie. But of course it's like too actually entertaining and fun to be in Zack Snyder's Batman v Superman or in any version of that movie, TBH, because I think it's like just a bit too ridiculous, and people are embarrassed of making things that are like kind of cartoony a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Especially when it's an adaptation of a cartoon that everyone loves and also might be called Cowboy Bebop or something.
Yep.
I used the wrong terms, by the way, when I was describing Faye's new character.
Mm-hmm.
The correct terms are girl boss.
All right.
Yeah.
I mean, she always was a girl boss.
Yeah, but it's like...
She's girl bossing differently.
She's girl bossing in, like, the toxic girl boss regard, where, like, Faye was a girl boss because she was an independent woman who her only reason for being on the Bebop was... not necessarily.
She loves lying and cheating.
Yeah, girl bossing.
Yeah.
Gatekeeping, gaslighting.
Yeah. She uses people a lot.
Yeah, she's using the Bebop to be like, oh, a clean bath and a clean shower, and neither of these men are trying to fuck me. Mm-hmm. And, like, I just have to do meager amounts of work sometimes and then show up at the end and be like, how about you give me 80%?
Yeah.
And then, then, I don't know. I don't want to watch anymore.
Okay, then don't.
I'm just going to hate it.
You don't have to.
Yeah. For the first time ever, I said something negative about a show, and Chris didn't immediately jump down my throat for being negative.
Yeah.
Well, because also, he hadn't seen it yet, so I was like, it's not even worth it. Did they even try?
Yeah, do what you want.
Can't wait for the One Piece show.
Yeah. Like, there's cool shit about the Netflix Cowboy Bebop. They do some cool stuff in it, but, like, ultimately, it is less good than the original. If you've seen all of the original, and you're like, I want more, watch the fucking Netflix version. It's not as good, but nobody expected it to be.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
well, people were fucking, like, hyping it up all the time.
Yeah.
Well, especially because Netflix was trying to hide the walkouts that were happening at their workplace.
Exactly.
But then, like, people were like, wow, this, like, looks so good. This looks exactly like I want it to be. And it's like, oh, these, like, random out of context, like, scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be amazing.
Yeah, like, there's bits that Netflix has posted and that are, like, comparison of shots when they did shot-for-shot stuff.
Yeah.
Which is cool, but also is almost an advertisement for, like, animation as a medium, because you can say more with less with an animation.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like, there's, like, it was the part where, like, Vicious is standing above Spike and Spike's pointing the gun at him. And, like, in the anime, it's like they're both standing where they are in front of the big window, and then, like, you see, like, it's a quick movement, a quick cut to, like, close up on the gun, and then cut back to the wide. And, like, in the live action, it's just the wide, because, like, you can't do that quick cut and have the audience read it the same way with live action, because, like, there's more detail in live action. But, like, with animation, you can minimize detail and, like, still get the point across in less time.
Yeah. And also, wasn't, like, the final fight with Spike and, like, all the syndicate guys in the church? Isn't it like a very dark fight, but they use a lot of, like, muzzle flares to, like, light up the room? In
the anime, yeah.
Yeah. Like, that's a really good...
That's straight up, that's, like, so genius and so difficult to do, and they were doing it with boards.
But it's also, like, it's, like, easier to do... It's, like, it's still complicated to do. But when you do it with, like, animation, you're in control of how much the light comes off and what it does. Where if you do it with fucking... like live action, you're gonna have to go in. You can't use muzzle flares. You're gonna have to do it, like, put them in afterwards, because like, also I think a lot of sets now are going to start banning, like,
blank guns.
Yeah, because shit keeps happening with them.
Yeah.
Like apparently, just with the Hannah Gatsby thing.
Yeah.
A lot of people have been getting injured by blanks over the years, like between this and Brandon Lee.
Yeah.
It's just that they weren't killing anyone, so no one was talking about it. But now they're just like, with the use of CG,
you can just do CG muzzle flashes. Like, people, you can
like
make
Freddie W. literally showed us that we can do.
There is still stuff you can, like, I'm not here saying we should 100% do anything, ever 100%. You can do a lot, and it's a lot, you can get a lot more visually and in the scene with a real muzzle flash, and you can get real recoil, and you can get real muzzle flash and really loud gunshot noises, and it can sell stuff, and it can do stuff, and the lighting can interact with stuff in a much more natural way.
If you want a gun to fire like realistic, just like dry fire an airsoft gun. Well, like if you wanted to have the the movement of like, you know, the fucking like of like if you shoot a pistol that's like airsoft, it'll the hammer will go and all that. Like it'll look like a pistol shooting. It's just that you'd have to add in a muzzle flare because someone.
With prop guns, the muzzle. I'm not saying that. I'm talking literally the flash and like using blank guns. It's like a real gun. Like it's like there's a lot more you can get out of that in terms of like physical reality, but also it's not 100% safe. But like, so use CGI shit when you can, but also you should have just been fucking safe. Like,
standard gun rules for when like people are like shooting a gun. If you're going to pick up the gun, you better be shooting it soon. You don't carry around it, and if you're going to carry it around, that's be in a downward position where you have absolute control in the safety.
And like, gun. Guys, you need to get you can have your real gun with blanks, and then you need to have a hero prop that is for when you have scenes where a character is holding that gun that doesn't fire them in the shot. You swap it out for the hero prop that's not a real gun and can't hurt anybody. Like, it's fucking basic.
Is very super obvious. Like, literally, fucking, it's gonna have like.
You need to have them in like labeled and shit or whatever. And stored correctly.
Put a fucking bright orange fucking thing on
then it's
end.
not a good hero prop.
No, not the hero prop. On the one you shoot. Then you can just cover it up.
The real gun has an orange tip.
Yeah. That's or like a red tip. So it's like, oh, red, danger. There we go. Or make it like something you like on the handle. Something that would get covered by someone's hand.
Or just have it in a lockbox.
That too.
Just have it labeled in a lockbox, in a labeled lockbox, and then when you have to shoot a scene that uses it, you
only let the prop master touch it until it is someone else's turn to touch it.
Until it's given to the actor.
Yeah, because wasn't that the problem with the Rush shoot? Is that they were just like out on like a table?
Yeah.
And
it was a bunch of things, and it was stupid. And the one with that, it wasn't even that it was a blank gun; it was loaded with a real bullet, not a blank.
Oh, so Alec Baldwin did just shoot someone.
Yeah, by accident. He didn't think it had a real bullet in it. He thought it had a blank in it because he was doing his fucking scene. But, you know, stupid.
Yeah.
But, it's not like the Brandon Lee thing where, because blanks can still harm you.
It was just poor management.
Yeah.
Of, like, no one being like, hey, Brandon, why don't you not put that next to your head?
Well, no, he didn't pull he didn't do this in the movie. It was somebody shooting him, and it was held to his head, right? And it's like the people who made the movie didn't realize, right?
Yeah.
The one where somebody shot himself was somebody using a blank gun, doing a version of Macbeth that had guns on stage.
Oh, like that one Hitman Blood Money level. You know, I was talking to my brother on the long drive.
Yeah.
About Hitman, and it was just like, I don't know why, I just suddenly remembered that up until Hitman Blood Money, there's like an ongoing story where Blood Money's like almost the finale of it.
Yeah.
Where you like finally you destroy the organization that took big advantage of you.
Yeah.
And then in Absolution, it's you going back to working for them for some fucking reason, killing your original handler because she ran away with a teen girl that would have been used for like sex murders instead, and it was like, oh, we can't. Hitman Agent 47 now has a conscience, and like goes to run away, and then the sexy nuns with machine guns show up, and I don't know. I stopped playing that game because man, it did look pretty for an Xbox 360 era game, but God, was it fucking boring.
Yeah, well, it wasn't like a very good Hitman game.
It was more, it was more like stealth your way to the top of this thing, kill one guy, but like unlike Hitman, where you were like constantly being searched for. Unlike Hitman, like the new games and the old games, where you came in somewhere where there was parts where it's like, oh, it's fine for this bald gentleman to be walking around.
Yeah.
And then you like survey and you can figure out.
The thing I didn't like about Absolution was that if you're in an outfit, everybody who's in that same outfit is able to tell that you shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
Whereas the newer ones, which again, this is just a genre of game I'm bad at and don't really like that much, as I've found out. But like in the newer ones, it's people with a dot on their head will, and people who don't have a dot in their head won't. And it's like some of those people aren't wearing the same outfit.
It's like
as
pretty
you.
much RNGing it, pretty much saying like, will they recognize that you're wearing someone else's suit right now?
Yeah, like it's not RNG because it's like everybody is decided, like because it's like a sandbox with a bunch of things in it, and you've got to figure out which of those things can be meant to go together. Which I think is cool about the newer ones. Like the newer ones are really dope, but Anyway, let's talk about the weeks.
Why?
We ran out of news, I thought.
I don't think we even went through the only piece of news.
Epic Games bought Harmonix to make music shit for Fortnite.
Could Epic Games buy Harmonix so that we can get a new Rock Band?
I wish.
Yeah. They have the money. They have the connections.
I mean, I'm sure that last game they put out...
Rock Band 4?
No, the Harmonix did a couple games since then. Since Rock Band 4. That were like music based because that's their thing.
It's their thing, yeah.
Which is cool. I want
DJ Hero back.
Me too, man.
Yeah, DJ Hero was so sick.
Yeah.
I wish there was a way I could like play it again. Well, apparently, what's that game, Clone Hero? There is a way to get DJ Hero on there.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, but it's like annoying, and it doesn't it's like you don't do the switching and the fading. It's just like how Clone Hero works, where you would be like, you could like do the button taps and then you could do like the forward and the back, but you wouldn't use the like switcher, and you couldn't like fade in and out,
the crossfader.
Yeah, that's what it is. It was it sucks.
So let's see, after Rock Band 4 they did Amplitude, Rock Band
made
VR,
Twitch Sings.
Twitch Sings, yeah. Drop Mix, which is that board game I have.
Dance Central
for Oculus.
Yeah.
And Fuser.
They also made the original Dance Central as well.
Yeah.
I don't know what Fuser is.
Fuser is like a rhythm game.
Let's see. Ooh, the player takes the role of a DJ at a large concert and make a mashup of different songs. What if this is the DJ Hero I missed out on?
It's not, because I think you can put a bunch of songs together and it's up to you.
So it's mashups.
Yeah. So like there's Into Club, Take On Me, The Sign, Rehab, Sweet But Psycho. I actually like that song.
You know what? I'm going to go to the bathroom and I'm going to watch this video.
Okay. Bad Guy by Billie Eilish. Don't Fear the Reaper by Blue Oyster Cult. Those are both great songs. Call Me Maybe. Rock the Casbah. Super Freak. That's a good fucking song.
Yeah, the game looks pretty cool.
Yep.
Honestly, actually, it looks like cool to do with for like a second, and also if you like modded it so you could like use the game to create your own music, like with like individual tracks that you put into the game. But yeah, it's like pretty complicated for like a video game.
Yeah, it reminds me of like Drop Mix, which is the board game they did that I have that we played like once and nobody wanted to play it anymore, and I was like, but this is cool. Do you remember that?
No, I never played it.
You never played it?
No. Did you see the thing Keanu Reeves said recently?
What did he say?
He said he didn't know that the Matrix movies were a trans allegory, and he thinks it's pretty cool.
Oh, he said that a while ago, yeah.
Did he? Yeah.
Yeah.
I just saw it today. And then I saw, like, I was on Google, and apparently I guess Will Smith was offered the role of Neo before.
Yeah.
And he turned it down, and that's how Keanu got it.
Yeah.
And they used the same picture from the other thing.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, recently, and also because the movie's like Matrix 4 is coming out.
Yeah.
In like a month.
Yeah, there was like a couple years ago. I remember Lily and Lana Wachowski saying that, which was like obviously,
Why did they both go with L names?
Maybe they both had L names before they transitioned.
I don't think they did.
I don't know.
I'm just gonna look. I'll get Wikipedia to dead name them for me. Man.
What?
People also ask, are the Wachowski brothers actually sisters?
Yes.
Yes, they are. Lana's former name had an L.
Mm-hmm.
Lily's did not. So maybe she always just liked Lily's.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyways. Mind these nuts.
Yeah. Anyway, let's talk about our weeks.
Did Hawkeye episode 1 and 2 come out this week?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that sucks.
You didn't watch them?
I was busy.
Yeah, I know. We were just double checking.
Yeah. And people were over last night, so I didn't really, I kind of,
Sure.
literally walked in the door.
Well, that's why we're going to spend the rest of the podcast watching them now.
No. Never. I'm not going to watch it, actually, because I think Jeremy Renner just isn't an attractive man. So.
But, you know what? I would agree with you, but on the other hand, Haley Steinfeld.
But, on the other hand, she admires Jeremy Renner's character, so.
But on the other hand,
are you honestly trying to make me believe that Jeremy Renner is supposed to be a good father?
in the show, in the fiction, mm-hmm. Yes.
But as we all know, when someone does something in fiction, it's like a mirror of what they are in real life, because that's what acting is. It's being who you are.
I don't think Jeremy Renner is a good guy. On account of he pointed a gun at his wife that one time.
Yeah, I believe he's actually a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's a joke based off of people who think that they know celebrities because they watch them on stuff.
Yeah. Also, I'm seeing that some people are boycotting the show because
Justin... What was it? Justin Nya or Andy Nya? I don't know.
Andy No?
I don't know. There was like it was like AJA or something. So Aha.
Oh, David Aja. Yeah, the writer, the artist of the comic.
Yeah.
Hasn't really been getting compensated for the fact that a lot of the promotional material is using his art.
Yeah. I finally got some news on Google Chrome here. Mass Effect TV series idea makes former BioWare writer cringe. It's the BioWare writer who insisted on showing Miranda's ass. I didn't actually. I don't know. Also, who cares? It's good. We all at this point cares? They're all going to be bad,
or they're all going to be whatever.
Yeah,
which is arguably more likely.
When is Hawkeye set on the MCU timeline? Around Christmas.
Christmas 2024.
Does it directly say that in the show? Thank you, CBR. Mm-hmm. Always with the best news. Okay. Let's talk about something. What do you want to talk about?
I'll talk about comic book.
Do you have anything else besides comics?
That's a good question. Let me just double check. Oh, I do. Okay. I'm glad I wrote it down because that reminds me. This week I played the video game The Forgotten City.
Yeah, how'd you like it?
I think
what is it for best indie?
Yeah, it's nominated for best debut or best indie.
Yeah.
In case you don't know about it, Forgotten City is an independent video game. The plot of which involves you going to a special city. Bless you.
Thank you.
A special ancient Roman city.
That may or may not be forgotten.
deep underground. And in this city, the city has a rule, and in this city, it's that the many will suffer for the sins of the one, right? Which is essentially if anybody in this city does a sin by whatever god is in charge of this place, according to him, every person in the city dies, right? And so, what that means is like, well, for you is you're from now time being sent back due to this one guy doing like a magic spell or whatever. And so every time, essentially, you can do a little time loop, because there's a time loop aspect, because you want to figure out who's going to commit the crime, because in your time, the city is filled with everybody. Because when they all die, they all turn into gold statues, is the way they're killed. So, like, in your time, you come to the city, and it's, like, ruined and filled with gold statues of everybody running away from something. And you got to figure out what the fuck's going on.
King Midas.
And
his magical splooge.
Not quite, but they mention King Midas.
Isn't the thing with King Midas actually at the end where, like, everything he touches turns to gold, but so he touches, like, someone, and it turns them to gold, and he, like, freaks out. So he's, like, touch himself and turn himself into gold or some stupid shit like that at the end?
No, it doesn't work when he touches himself. He touches his daughter.
Yeah.
And then he's like, what the fuck? You know.
Yeah.
But anyway, there's an element to that, and it's cool. So this game was originally a Skyrim mod. And you can still kind of feel it a little bit in the way that, like, when you talk to somebody and they turn around to look at you, like, you can feel the Skyrim in this, even though, like, they've made this game it's in Unreal 4, so it's not in the Skyrim engine, but you could feel the Skyrim energy.
But they probably ripped some fucking, like, models.
Or whatever.
Or like framework.
Some of the code, framework from the original mod is probably still in this new version of the game, right?
Yeah.
And so, like, there is that element to it, which is cool. There's also stuff that's, like, really funny in this game. But it's neat. It, like, winds up being this little diatribe on, like, morality and all this shit. Like, you do at one point, like, get a bow and arrow, and depending on your class, because you can pick one of 3 classes at the beginning of this game, because it's got RPG elements. One of the classes, not the one I picked, but one of the classes that's, like, also a backstory is soldier. And if you're a soldier, the game spawns you from the start. You get a fucking gun with 10 bullets.
Yeah.
You get a fucking gun. And you go back to ancient Rome, Ian. Imagine.
Nice.
It's ridiculous. It's wild. So, I mean, you can argue because that's in the game, it's a first-person shooter. Because you can also get a bow and arrow at one point. But, like, it's really not an action game. It is a game in which you talk to people and do quests and, like, figure shit out. But it's a really cool game. It's like it's a pretty original idea. You know, it's neat. I thought it was dope. I think it deserves its game award. Some people are saying that it's been snubbed. I don't think it's really good enough to put anywhere else and win necessarily. Yeah. Like, it's not GOTY material, but it's like, this is a cool fucking little game that I'm happy exists.
The thing is every single video game gamer thinks their favorite game or a game they really enjoyed of the year is snubbed.
Yeah.
Because they don't understand the criteria. Or, like...
And that's why Cyberpunk 2077 should win.
Cyberpunk, absolutely not.
Yeah, it's the only good game. That's my opinion.
Cyberpunk 2077...
If best soundtrack doesn't go to fucking Near Replicant, I am going to shit myself.
What was the other options?
Games that don't have as good a soundtrack as fucking Near Replicant.
But, like, which ones?
I don't know, fucking Deathloop and, like, games that have, like, fine music, but, like, not near fucking not Keiichi Okabe. You know what I mean? Like, Game Awards, best soundtrack. Let's see. Yeah, fucking Deathloop, Cyberpunk, Near Replicant, it doesn't have all of them. Hold on.
Yeah.
Oh, The Artful Escape and the Guardians of the Galaxy game. Artful Escape has great music because it's written and directed by a guy who makes music.
Okay.
So that has good music. It doesn't have Near Replicant good music. Because it's fucking Near Replicant. Like, come on.
Where's the guys who are in the comments going like, oh, the 9 Inch Nails virtual video game experience is getting snubbed.
Yeah, Kid A Amnesia.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, that's not 9 Inch Nails, it's Radiohead, you fucking fake fan.
They're like I'm not a fan of either.
Fake gamer.
I literally do not like Radiohead or 9 Inch Nails.
Really?
Yeah. I think Tom York is fucking up his own ass. Like, I think Radiohead is just an okay band that, like, sad dudes have always acted like is, like, the pinnacle of music. And I just don't care for Trent Reznor. That's about it.
I think Trent Reznor has found a lot of success doing
movie soundtracks.
Yeah, scoring film with Atticus Ross, and he does a great job.
Like, I'm not saying they aren't talented men.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm just saying that their bands are overrated.
Yeah.
But also, what do I know?
I
went to a fucking show with a man who used to be in ska bands.
Yep.
Yeah. And it was sick. And I have a picture that I'm in.
Nice.
As you can see, there's a big crowd there.
Oh. And you're there?
I found myself, actually.
Nice. It's like when I sent you that picture of my name in the credits for The Good Life.
Yeah, wait, I'm going to come over and show you this. Because it's funny. I never can find myself in, like, these crowd shots. Yeah. Or it's like, oh, that was that one time I had to go to the fucking bathroom or something. Mm-hmm. But every picture that was taken, I'm like, I feel like I'm in the center of that one. This was the only one that showed up on, like, Instagram and shit.
Yeah.
I circled it for ease of access.
Hold on. Oh, wow, you are right in the middle. Yeah. Or at least your circle is. Hold on, let me just see. Oh, I see you!
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah, this is my tattoos. Oh, and then also, just for fun, it was SpongeBob me.
Nice.
I'll make my way back around to my seat. Are you done talking about the Forgotten City?
Yeah.
I don't want to step on your toes. Yeah, so last week after the podcast, I went to go to a concert. I brought Emily.
Yeah. You went on a date with someone else's girlfriend?
Yes.
How was it?
It was great. It was Emily's first concert she's ever been to.
Wait, really?
Yeah. And you know what was funny? She was like literally doing this like as a friend thing for me, where she was just like, "Yeah, you told me about how literally all of your friends bailed on you because Destiny couldn't make it up anymore."
Yeah.
Blake is now working Saturday, or is only back on Fridays, and then
I couldn't make it because we did the podcast thing.
Yeah, and then Emma got sick.
Yeah.
So it was like I have 4 tickets.
Yeah.
1 for me and 3 for friends. And then the 3 friends who were supposed to come all were like, I cannot anymore. And then I was like, I don't know, Emily, are you doing anything tomorrow? Yep. Would you like to? And she was like, I don't know anything about concerts. Sure. So then we're on the way there. She's like, I've never listened to Jeff Rosenstock.
Yeah.
And she's like, I listened to it. I don't like it. And I'm like, and you're still coming? Wow, you are friend of the year. But then while we were there, we missed the first band because driving into Toronto always sucks. Yeah. Especially when you have to take the fucking Gardner to Lakeshore.
Where was it? I'm surprised you guys couldn't
Danforth.
Take the... Oh, yeah. Because if it was closer downtown, you could just take the train.
I don't, though.
What do you mean you don't? Though?
I don't like... That's money.
Yeah, but so is
and
gas.
And also, here's the thing.
Gasoline is also money.
It's less gas than it is for the train.
Depends on how much traffic there is.
Yeah, but so there was a lot of traffic, but it's still, less gas. And also, I don't have to worry about getting, it takes longer as well. It's more of a convenience thing.
It's fast. No, the train's usually faster.
Yeah, because of traffic.
Yeah.
Because on the way there, it was like an hour and a half. Mm-hmm. Like, I left here at 6:30.
The train's 35 minutes.
Yeah, I know. But then you also have to get to the venue.
Train plus subway would probably be 45.
It was the Danforth, which is like the other end of the city.
It'd probably be 50 minutes.
Okay, perhaps. But regardless, I pick Emily up. I get to her house around like 6:50 because I had to talk to my brother on the phone for a while. And then we go to... I get her, and I'm like, whatever, we can miss the first band. I don't really know them that well. We fucking go, like, we literally walk in, the second band's about to get on, and then like Emily vibed with the second band.
Mm-hmm.
So she was like, wow, I like this one. It was Slaughter Beach Dog.
Nice.
And then she did actually, you pointed this out, but I like just went to go mosh, and I literally just like abandoned Emily in a sea of dudes.
Yeah, I pointed that out when he told me that, and I was like, "Oh, you left a girl alone in a fucking concert full of dudes?"
Yeah. So yeah, I moshed for a while. I left for a second, bought like a crew neck, came back. Then, like, towards the end of the show, the song he's playing in that picture I showed you is called Caring. And it's a song he wrote during quarantine. And it's pretty much just him lamenting that he wished he lived in a country that cared about him.
Yeah.
And, like, didn't regard the citizens like shit because, you know, he's American. And that's when, and like, as he's like singing through like the first part, he goes like, look at the balcony, and like everyone like in the whole venue turns around, like no one's moshing, we're all just standing and watching.
Yeah.
And we turn around and look at the venue, and they're doing the fucking phone thing with the flashlight.
That's so funny.
So then we're like, I'm staring, I'm like, oh, is everyone gonna do that now? And I look over and like a guy's grabbing his phone out, doing the same thing. So I did it as well.
Yeah.
It was a very like good show. It was
used to be a thing you did with lighters.
Yeah, but less people smoke now.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it was a good time.
I'm looking at the Game Awards for Best Music still because it just opened on my phone, and I just like scrolled back to 2017 just to point out how good the music was that year.
Yeah.
Listen to the nominees. So Nier Automata, which is the winner, right? Nier Automata, fucking amazing music. We all can agree. Next up, Cuphead. That game has great music.
There was some game that people were
Persona 5.
Yeah.
Fucking great music. Mario Odyssey.
Great music.
Breath of the Wild.
Great music.
And Destiny 2 is the worst one there.
It is the worst one.
Yeah.
Okay, I remember actually, now that you said Breath of the Wild, because they
Yeah.
came out in the same year, so people compared them, someone was like saying Breath of the Wild would have been better, like musically, if it had like a Nier Automata-esque soundtrack.
Okay, here's my vibe with that. Breath of the Wild making the choice to have really sparse, like, one piano music is really cool.
It's very atmospheric.
It's good for the atmosphere. Nier Automata having fucking extra as hell music with choirs and vocals, and then, like, having parts where the same song transitions into 8-bit when you're hacking is fucking amazing, and that's why it's got the best music of any video game. But, like, it's Nier Automata can do that because it's Nier fucking Automata.
Yeah.
Like, you know, that's like saying every game should have a Persona-esque soundtrack. And it's like, listen, Persona has amazing soundtracks.
Yeah, they created
and it's better
a whole
than
genre
most
called
games.
Jazz.
Yeah, they've invented jazz. No, but like Persona, all the Persona games, like depending on whether it's a jazzy one or a rap one or what, like a pop style one.
Yeah.
Like, always is nailing music, like because it's Persona, but like.
And
not
but then also
everything
the
needs
vibe
to
of
be
the
Persona.
music is like always fitting the theme of the game.
Yeah.
Where like it's jazzy because you spend a lot of time doing heists.
Yeah.
And like in Japan, what's the most popular fucking heist dude around?
Lupin the Third, yeah.
Which was created during the jazz,
like when jazz was big,
huge
like
in Japan.
So yeah,
they use a lot of jazz, and like they use a lot of cabaret like style like ensembles for Lupin. So then they're like aping that for fucking Persona 5,
but they're mixing it with like pop vocals
and then
really
Persona
cool shit.
Persona 4, where it's like it's like very poppy because you're in a town. Like you're in like a happy, everything's cool town.
Yeah,
and
a crazy, noisy, bizarre town.
Yeah. And then Persona 3, it's just...
it's rap because rap.
You're in a city.
Well, you're not in a city. You're on an island.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. I didn't play Persona 3.
That's okay. It's
and
rap.
I just assumed
it's rap because it takes place in 2009.
Because, you know, Japan, all their places look the same. Because they are very, like all their schools are the same designs.
Yeah.
Well, all their modern schools and shit.
Yeah, it's that in Persona 4, the school is wood.
Yeah. But
that's also you're in a more modern location in 3. It's just it's a smaller city.
Persona 4, you're out in the country.
Yeah.
Like you're in the middle of nowhere. Persona 5 is in the heart of the city.
It's Tokyo. Yeah.
And Persona 3 is a modern island.
Yeah, it's like a modern island city in Japan that's fictional.
Yeah. where Japan goes like, oh, we have a lot of water issues, and we have typhoons, and like things break all the time, so why don't we go make our schools entirely out of concrete?
Yeah.
And they're also like shelters, like they're built like that. So, also they're really weird buildings. Walking around the one in Lost Judgment, I saw some dumbass go like, "Oh, the Lost Judgment school looks like this other thing from like another, or like the Lost Judgment school looks like the one from Persona," and it's like, yeah, because they're both schools in Japan. You stupid fuck.
Dipshit.
I can go to Meadowvale Secondary School, and then I can go to Streetsville Secondary. They're gonna look the same.
Yeah, but also like, yes, a lot of schools in Japanese video games and anime and shit are gonna look pretty similar.
Yeah,
like universally they have that like 3-story thing going on where it's like it's bottom floor is but the bottom floor is usually the seniors. Like it's like reverse, like the younger you are the higher you have to go.
Yeah, so it's like seniors,
sophomores,
yeah,
or whatever, because they only have 3 grades in high school
because their middle school is 3.
Yeah,
is their middle school is 7, 8, 9.
Yeah.
And then their high school is
10, 11, 12.
10, 11, 12. That's why it seems like sometimes they'll be like, oh, I'm a junior high student or whatever, but they're like 15. And it's like, math doesn't make sense.
That still doesn't make sense to be
14.
Yeah.
There's like Jotaro is like 16, but he's
Yeah.
in like his first year of high school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like Chunibyo being like second year middle school syndrome or 8th grade syndrome.
But now they're in like high school.
Yeah.
They're in grade 10, right?
In Chunibyo?
Yeah, they're like 15
sorry, the thing Chunibyo, like the name is like 8th grade syndrome, but in the story of the anime is that 2 years ago I was this cringe lord.
Yeah, I know. I watched like
Darkness Man.
6 episodes of Chunibyo,
Love
and
that.
it's
I enjoy that show personally.
That's fine. I just it's very cringe to me.
It is intentionally.
But it is, exactly.
Yeah.
But then I also don't like obviously I didn't watch the show, but there was a
when you like okay, I'm not going to be like you have to watch it because it's an impeccable masterpiece. It's not.
Yeah.
But if you
it's the group chat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm just going to
But like if you watch the show all the way through, you get to this point where it like gets down to the deep emotional aspect of her being that Chuni type character, and it's like we love that about her, but also she does need to like become an adult person that lives in the real world, but she's like this due to family tragedy and like situation, and like there's a couple episode arc near the end where they go back to her hometown and it like addresses that. And then season 2 starts, and we introduce a new character who's a Chuni who makes it a love triangle.
Yeah, that's the thing I don't like. I don't like love triangles.
Fuck season 2. Season 2 has a different writer. The guy who wrote season 1 went on to write that show that's about all those girls that go to Antarctica. The place further than the universe or some shit. I forget what it's called. It's a good show.
Oh, yeah.
It was a good show.
Yeah.
It was a good cute girls doing cute shit show.
Well, yeah. Like, those are always good shows. Like Eurocamp or whatever.
Eurocamp.
Yeah, awesome. It's just they're George is placing LCBO orders.
Oh.
Yeah, so I don't know if you got like a do not disturb mode on your phone or something.
I do, but I'm also going to say get me a 6-pack of White Claw.
Oh, you're going to drink?
I'll have like 1 or 2 White Claws and then drive like a fucking baller.
It's not like you live that far.
Yeah.
I almost considered driving to Kyle's tonight.
Yeah.
But then I was just like, no, because I do want to drink. But then I remembered, like, last time I had 7 beers, I was still under the legal limit. It's like, yeah, but that was last time. And I didn't drive, and that was in my own home.
And also, that's still not good for you.
It's not, yeah.
Just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Yeah, there's not a lot of anime that I'm interested in anymore. Like, I feel like the only stuff I'm, like, anticipating...
JoJo.
But it's other than JoJo, because I never read Part 6.
Yeah.
It's stuff I've already read.
Mm-hmm. Spy X Family.
Spy X Family, Chainsaw Man, Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2, plus the movie.
See, the best anime, in my opinion, is usually original shit, but you don't figure out about the
There's just not a lot of original shit right now.
Yeah, and it's
actually,
like...
apparently Great Pretenders pretty good.
That's not original.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I forgot. What was it? Cannon Busters was original.
Yeah.
Which I was going to watch and then just didn't.
Yeah, like, there's lots of cool shit out there, and, like, but that's the kind of thing... Original anime is the kind of anime that, like, comes out and then you find out it's good. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So you can't anticipate it the same way that you can when it's something that you already like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like Comey Can't Communicate. I'm watching that as it comes out. I think I'm like 2 episodes behind right now.
You usually don't like to watch shows that you already read because you're like, oh, I know what happened.
I just think that with Comey, it's like really beautifully done. Like the anime. It's the thing is that I don't really want to watch it because the direction doesn't like. It's very flat. It doesn't change much from like with Comey, it's like they're doing beautiful angles. The're doing like movie level shit. The show has great lighting. It has like really good color composition where like everything's bright but also subdued. Like there's a girl with green hair and I'm just like, no, that's fine. Because it's not like bright, vibrant green hair. It's like what if you could have green hair but it was brown.
Yeah.
Or there's
I'm
like
just thinking, I can't wait until we get like another cool like anime that's like this is a story about adult people who do shit.
Oh man, like fucking Wachowski didn't suck. That's the one that really turned me around on like watching shows if I've already read it.
Yeah.
Because Wachowski is like it's a very plain manga but has like really nice messaging and all that.
Yeah.
About like being yourself even though like the things you like are like childish. Which is like not an issue here because you like 40-year-old Marvel fans exist. But like in Japan, you know, where if like you can have interest, but if you outwardly express that you're interested in something, you kind of get like looked down upon. Or if you don't have an adult interest, like if some guys over here in the corner like my favorite thing to do is go to the local whiskey bars and taste test the finest whiskeys from around the world because I'm an adult, and the other guy's like my favorite thing to do is watch One Piece. They're like, ew, the fuck.
Yeah.
What's happening in the new arc right now? But also gross. What's wrong with you? Is Wano over yet?
Yeah, like I think
Did Luffy beat up Kaiga? Because I'm making the joke that everyone in Japan knows fucking One Piece.
Yeah, but also fuck you.
Yeah, fuck you. You're gross. But also
or like old people in Japan where it's like you like anime. What's wrong with you? But also I need to take the day off when the new Dragon Quest comes out.
Yeah, it's like
because. It's that ingrained into the culture. I need to know what fucking happens.
But then like
I love that they legally made it so the Dragon Quest games have to come out on Fridays. It's like a law in Japan because so many people take the fucking day off.
But like Wachowski was just like it's like it's like a really sweet manga, but not a lot happens. But then when they adapted into the anime, it just became a very bland, boring anime.
That's fair.
Yeah, so it was like not all things like get adapted well, but now things are like they're putting more effort into the adaptations. They're like actually trying to they're not doing Netflix Cowboy Bebop adaptation. They're like trying to make it better. Or they're also trying to match the art style without like changing the entire world or having characters that like look like they're out of place.
Yeah.
So yeah, Spy X Family, excited for that.
That's good.
I got 2 other things.
Okay.
But I'm asking if you have, because then we could split up comics between single issues and like volumes if you wanted.
Sure. Yeah, why don't I do that?
Yeah.
Okay. Single issues first. So, I don't want to talk about this first. Let me just find a good order.
Yeah.
Okay. So, let's start with an issue 1. Issue 1 of the New Hulk book by Donny Cates, with art by Ryan Ottley, who did a lot of the art for Invincible, the comic.
George asked what kind did how many?
Just get like a 6-pack of the variety pack. Get the variety pack of like the energy drink, like Red Bull sized cans.
6-pack for, as Nate says, 6-pack variety. There we go.
And then I'll just take the rest home because I'll drink like 2 and not feel drunk.
Yeah. But like, you feel like you're drinking with people.
Yeah. I take my little sips.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like you're sitting there just being like, I'm here.
Yeah.
Like Derek last night.
Yeah. Okay, so the pitch for this new Hulk book is what if the Hulk exists to protect us from Bruce Banner?
Like, okay.
So the front...
So Bruce Banner's like a mad scientist in this.
So the front cover art is like the Hulk is a nuclear bomb and Bruce Banner standing in front of it like, fuck yeah. But the bit that's happening in this book, so Immortal Hulk just happened, which is like this thing that's about like, you know, the dissociative identity disorder, like the multiple personalities thing behind the Hulk. It's got this horror element.
Yeah.
You know, it's got the devil, it's got God, it's like all this shit, right? And this new book obviously needs to be a fresh start, but acknowledge what came before, but do something completely different. Mm-hmm. And so in this, Bruce Banner has turned the Hulk into a spaceship.
Okay.
Now, what that means is that Bruce Banner, a brilliant scientist, has used the best science and magic in the world to put a bunch of shit on the Hulk to basically fly the Hulk. Oh, shit. Ooh. Pilot the Hulk like a spaceship with this visor thing essentially being the bridge where he is piloting the Hulk.
Okay.
Like a spaceship.
Okay.
Because he's got some fucking shit to do. And he's a scary motherfucker. Which is great. In this bit, so he's fighting because it's Banner in control of the Hulk, and he's like, the rage is an engine, and it shows like in the Mind Palace he like is adding fake soldiers to where the Hulk personality is to make him more and more mad by like flipping a thruster, and it's like, oh fuck, rage is my engine. It's like, oh fuck, dude. But yeah, he like smashes the fuck out of these like Hulk busters. And it's like, he says, hold on, let me try to find it. Where the heck is it? He like destroys the fuck out of it, and then he's like, see, you knew I wasn't in here, that's why you went so ham. Or no, hold on, sorry. He smashes the Hulkbuster to pieces completely, and then Tony Stark's like, wait, how are you doing this, Bruce? How did you know I wasn't in that suit? I didn't.
So,
it's like, oh fuck. But yeah, it's really cool and awesome. Mm-hmm. And if you liked the Immortal Hulk, or you didn't, this is a new run on the thing.
Or he is now a dickhead.
I mean, Bruce Banner is kind of like, the implication of a lot of Immortal Hulk is that Bruce Banner is kind of an asshole, and all the other Hulk personalities are kind of cooler than he is.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah. We got issue 2 of Aquaman, Green Arrow, Deep Target. If you remember, this is the one where they switch bodies or pasts or whatever.
Yeah.
Still interesting, still cool. We got fun stuff. You know how it is. It's fun. It's less good than other books, but it's still fun. Now, next up we got Radiant Black.
Yeah.
Now, this issue is essentially psychedelic as fuck the issue, which is great. It's cool. It's like fully... Again, I do not want to spoil Radiant Black because like Radiant Black is a book that in issue 4 has a massive twist that I still don't want to spoil on this podcast if you haven't read that far.
Yeah.
The first trade is out that collects the first 6 issues. So if you're interested in this sort of like cool down to earth take on a superhero that's kind of a more Power Rangers-y type superhero, please grab Radiant Black. It's really cool. But this new issue is essentially like a dive inside the mind of like the thing, because it's like in Radiant Black there's this like black hole floating, and so reaches out and grabs it and becomes the superhero. And so this issue is like a deep dive into that thing and like its own conscious and like what's going on a bit more. And it's really cool. It's really neat and psychedelic as fuck. And I love the cover art. It looks so like trippy. I think this is a variant cover for issue 10, but still, it's cool. And then finally, we've got Joy Operations by Brian Michael Bendis and Stephen Byrne. This book's boring. Anyway.
That sucks. That's funny to leave it for last then.
Yeah.
This book's boring.
It's not great. It's like a cyberpunk thing. It's like kind of confusing and jumps you right into a story that like isn't that good. There's like a bit. The whole bit is like partway through the issue you find out that the narration bubble is not the thoughts of a character, but is a voice that the main character can hear.
Okay.
Which is kind of neat, but it's still like, okay, I need you to like gently let me get into this world before you fucking do all these things. Like I need to know what's going on in the book. And it just isn't good, and I don't care. If you like this, that's great. Good for you. I'm pro that. But yeah.
I'm pro your enjoyment.
I'm pro you liking it. If you dislike it, that's also fine. Like, if you're like, Nathan, I picked up Crossover and I think it's extremely pretentious. And even though you've been talking about how good it is for 10 issues. I'm like, all right, yeah, you can. It's like, it is definitely has a pretentious element to it, but I like it a lot. It's cool. Crossover is great. But, you know. Yeah.
Yeah.
People are going to have different opinions. I think Crossover is great because it's like a cool fucking thing for big comic nerds that's like interesting and awesome and really gets going partway through and is fun. But you don't have to agree with everything I say.
You have to agree with everything I say.
That is true, legally.
Such as, did you know?
Did you know?
Minecraft?
It's
pretty poggers.
It's pretty poggers. Last night I was talking to a bunch of them outside, and I was like talking about like I like this other podcast called the Chilluminati that does like supernatural shit.
Yeah,
they talk about supernatural shit. They talk about some true crime stuff, but they're like fun. They don't believe in conspiracy theories, but they like talking about them because they're fun. And I was like, you know, if you like content like that that's like popular on YouTube, like if you like Chills, and they were like, who's Chills? And I'm like, you know who Chills is.
Number 15.
Number 13.
Burger King
foot lettuce. The last thing you'd want in your Burger King burger is someone else's foot fungus. I guess in this case, it's bad. It's not that bad because he's wearing shoes, but that makes it even worse.
Yeah, Chills does that way of speaking.
That's his thing.
Did I talk about Minecraft last week?
I think you did.
Cool. Then I'll just ignore that for now.
Have you ever minced draft? How do you feel about Minecraft, Ian?
I am in a love-hate relationship with Minecraft.
Have you accepted like being a Zoomer at this point?
No, because when we talked about Minecraft last week, it came out when I was a child.
Yeah.
I was a teen.
Yeah.
Like, so no.
But I also think of it as
Minecraft is a young millennial thing.
I feel like Minecraft in my mind is still a game that kids play.
Yeah.
Like that's what I think of it is. It's for children.
Oh yeah.
And like I get that it's 10 years old, but I never even played it.
So I think out of the opinion of time last week, I just didn't talk about it that much.
Yep.
But I had been playing it quite a bit. My Discord recently started up a server again. And I have a classic thing with video games that and stuff is that or like when people start servers with shit, it's if I'm not there at the start, I'll probably never play because it's like I'll come in and everyone's like done everything already. So now it didn't happen this time where I was like bored and I had like already had an interest in playing Minecraft again, and I needed something to watch while I like I needed to multitask while watching One Piece.
Yeah.
Because like I love One Piece, but also I've seen every episode of One Piece already. Well, I've seen up to like episode 700. So everything I'm watching in it's English dubbed is like stuff I've seen. So it's just like I look like, oh, they're talking, whatever. I'll like I can multitask with it really easily.
Yeah.
So I started playing Minecraft on the server, and I like played independently for a bit. Like I was actually just gonna like exist on the server.
Yeah.
But then I started to actually find a lot of diamonds.
Nice.
Which that was my problem, is that I could never get diamonds because diamonds are like used to be a lot more rare than they were in Minecraft. Now you can get like a stack of 64 diamonds pretty easily. Well, not like you still have to like go to a certain like level and the underground, and you have to be.
But
lucky
they're a lot
to
more
find them.
common.
They're a lot more common to find.
Like, because they've introduced Netherrite and shit.
And so Netherrite is bullshit.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I've just been playing a lot more. I I moved into like the town with everyone. I built like this huge fucking like tower structure.
Yeah.
That like I have like crops in front of. I'm making like a nice little farm. I have like a full set of diamond armor. I went and built a blaze farm. Which blazes are these really fucking annoying enemies that they added.
I know Minecraft. A lot about Minecraft because I watch people play it.
Yeah,
mostly VTubers.
But do you know what blazes are then?
Yeah, they're the guys. They have the little like sticks floating around them, right?
Yeah, and they shoot fire like 3 fireballs at you at once. Yeah. So I was lucky enough.
It's fucked up that ghasts and blazes both exist because they should be the same enemy.
And also, blazes drop very useful things
like blaze rods,
which can make blaze dust. Which then, when you kill Endermen, you can get Ender pearls, and then you can make them to Eyes of Ender. Then you can find the fortress. Then you can go to the end. It's part of the necessary like through line of Minecraft. Story. So while I was making like
you should build a.
Hold
on. You should build a what the fuck is that? You should build a wither farm.
Perhaps, but here's the thing. So first, I was lucky enough while I was making this tunnel that I was making like a highway so I could go, because the way Minecraft works is like if you move 5 feet, like 5 units of measurement in Minecraft, in the Nether, you have moved 50 units in the overworld. So that's how people do like teleporters and like they'll do like another teleporter and then they'll create a highway with like blue ice or something, and you can like go really far south or north, and you can like build a new town and stuff. But then you, like something that would take like multiple days worth of travel to get back, you could do in 3 minutes. So instead of it taking 30 minutes, it would take 3 minutes. So I did that, and I came across a blaze spawner, which are pretty rare. It pretty much means like blazes will endlessly spawn around it. Mm-hmm. So what I did was I made a 13 by 13 block of white tinted ice, glass, because it stops light from coming in or whatever. Mm-hmm. Or also just because the guy whose tutorial I was watching on how to make it, that's what he used. So I've made it around the blaze spawner. So you just like when you hang out next to the spawner. So the way it works is you make this 13 by 13 like cube around the spawner, and you put.
And when you wait near it, it spawns the enemy and then kills them for you.
But they don't float forever. They will descend if there's like so what you do is you put lava, because water can't exist in the Nether. Mm-hmm. You put lava on each corner. Blazes do not get affected by lava like most enemies in the Nether.
Yeah.
And they will and then you put this little pit in the center, a 4x4 pit, and that you have blocked in a way where they cannot hit you, and you sit there with a sword and you just swipe at them and you get free XP and you get free blaze rods. Or like our friend Jacob who doing like.
So it's not an automated farm.
No, automated farms are a lot more complicated and only work very specific regard. Like I saw one where a guy made a huge farm dedicated to killing parrots. I don't know why. I don't know what parrots reward you with.
On Hololive English, Ina has a iron farm with iron golems.
Yeah, I don't know how to do that.
You have to essentially get enough villagers to be... You make like a small village up on a big pillar, and once enough village where they're like constantly fucking, and then
eventually iron golems will just
spawn, and then you have like a thing that automatically
you have like you probably have a 16 by 16 thing where water flows them into their thing. Yeah. Because I tried to make a monster spawner before in the game, in like the overworld, for like to just for XP, but it was so slow that I was like, fuck it. We're gonna need blaze rods at some point. I kind of want to start like adventuring out to find the stronghold, and so I did. I fucking went and killed a bunch of people. I went and like I made the whole thing while everyone was offline. I literally came like it was like the middle of the day when I was finally finishing it, and I was like, Gavin, I need your help with something. I need you to come kill some dudes for me, because Gavin's like just better at the game. Mm-hmm. But so like I did all this. I spent so much time on Minecraft that week that Destiny, who is like playing for the first time, and Holly, who just like kind of shows up to be creative and then like leaves, saw that like within a day I built this massive fucking like mansion with like this beautiful farm around it, and then went and made like a blaze spawner, and she was just like, why do I even try and play this game? And I'm talking to and Gavin's like talking to her, and she's like, do not compare yourself to Ian, because as soon as like someone brings up a concept of in a video game, Ian's already done it. Like, he's already completed it 5 times over. And I'm like, yeah, I'm in the stronghold right now. And she's like, fuck you.
Oh.
Yeah. And then I think we were holding off to go to the end and stuff.
Are you and Destiny gonna put your Minecraft beds next to each other?
She has her own house.
That's so sad.
Actually, I don't know what house she has. And then I think we're gonna try and make an illager farm as well. Mm-hmm. Which illagers are, and
I know what illagers are.
Villains that show up. And
I watch Game Theory.
We have one villager right now, and then we're trying to get more. But the only way we can actually get more is by curing them with like a petrified spider eye.
I just sent you the video of Ina making the iron farm.
How long is it?
I don't know. It's funny though.
Okay, so I'll watch it later.
Yeah, I'm not saying watch it now.
It's if it was like a 30
20 plus minutes.
Okay, then yeah.
Because it has the parts where she's funny because it's Ina and we love her.
So on the 30th, so actually like in 3 days or whatever, it's the 27th today, right?
Today is the 20-something.
It is the 27th. So on in 3 days, Minecraft is launching 1.18.
Is that the caves and
It's the final part of the Caves and Cliffs update where they are extending the ceiling of the world to 320 blocks when it used to be 252. And which therefore means also it'll take longer for you to get to bedrock. Yep. And diamonds are going to spawn higher than they used to, but only because there are diamonds. I don't think they're going to... I know this is true for shit like the ores, like gold ore and copper and iron.
Yeah.
That they will spawn together in bigger clumps. So before, for coal blocks can go like 20 blocks deep. Like you'll go through a ton of them. Now they're talking about that they're going to make iron do the same thing. Same with iron and gold. So then I think diamonds is also going to be the same.
Yeah.
So
it's going to be easier to find all of them. And then they added those. I remember they added like the fucked up guy that lives in a cave.
Yeah.
The creepy looking dude.
Yeah, there's like new.
It was what's he called? The warden.
Yeah, he's like super powerful and he's like almost unkillable unless you have like netherite gear.
Yeah. But he can't see. He can only hear.
Yeah, so if you crouch walk around, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Or like, pretty much just like you can fucking destroy iron golems really easily if you were just like if you place like 3 blocks down, they can't hit you anymore. Yeah, so we started the server knowing this update was coming soon, and we just made the rule that no one's allowed to go north. But then I just reminded Gavin, where I'm just like, hey man, we can just like go into the Nether, look north in the Nether, build a highway for like a fucking straight like 1,000 blocks in the Nether, and we'll come out and our coordinates will be like 7,000.
Yeah. So
that's what we're probably gonna do. So actually, I should probably talk to him and be like, "Hey, you want to get on tomorrow?" And
you know what I think is really funny?
It? What?
So this is such like a weird thing that I only know from like again game theory.
Yeah.
But like the lore of the Nether, so it's not under the main world. It's just a different dimension. But I'm gonna give you a list of reasons why that's stupid.
Why?
Okay, distance in the Nether is like exponential to the main world, right? Like so
I think I said times 10 earlier. I think it's times 7.
Yeah. So like the thing is like that makes sense if it's under, because the ring in the center of the earth is a smaller ring than like the ring of the outside, right?
So if it was a portal that was just bringing you to the other side of the bedrock, then you would just be like, it
would make sense that the distance is like expanded, right? Yeah. Because that's just how that would work.
And Minecraft is an
and on top
world,
of that, the word nether comes from the word same root word that beneath comes from. That's where the netherite part is.
The end is absolutely a different dimension.
Yeah, but they're like they officially said it's not beneath, and it's like, then why is it called the nether?
Because the implication of it being beneath would mean that it's hell.
Yeah,
because there's monsters there.
It is
there's
hell.
Zombie piglins. There's Endermen who have like because there's warped forests, which are like portions of the end leaking into the Nether. Mm-hmm. There was some really cool like naturally occurring structures now in Minecraft, though.
Yeah,
like there was one time
there's the boats in the end.
What?
The boats in the end?
Yeah, I've never actually been to the end yet. So.
Oh really?
Yeah, because
are you gonna get Elytra?
I've had an Elytra before because of
someone gave it to you.
Yeah, because Gavin and Ben. This is the problem on the last server is they got to a point where they beat the whole game while no one else was there.
Mm-hmm. So then the game got harder, but some people were just starting.
The game gets harder over time.
Yeah,
like difficulty whatever difficulty you start your world on, like normal is 1.0,
Yeah.
Every day afterwards adds difficulty onto the game.
Yeah, but also beating the end chunks it up as well.
So it just it's probably like how Terraria is then.
Yeah.
Where,
it's like it is. It's like Terraria.
So the game's already decently hard for like people who aren't good at Minecraft. So like Destiny and Holly. But they're
wow.
good.
Are you saying women aren't good at Minecraft?
There just happen to be the
gross.
two that Holly isn't like a fighter. Like we all carry around shields in our offhand at all times. The best thing ever added to Minecraft.
Yep.
Because every time I have died on this server was because I was exploring a ravine and a creeper drops down next to me and just explodes and I fucking die.
Oh,
but
man.
if I turned around fast enough and raised my shield, it negates like all of the damage. Shields are amazing. They make fighting like they make it so that if you get cornered, like if you actually get stuck in a corner, like you can't backtrack away, you're not dead. You're not just fucked. They make harder like cave spiders or baby zombies like fightable.
Yeah.
They're the best thing they've ever added. So also, because this is the first time I've been back playing, I've also found out about Netherrite. Netherrite is the biggest load of shit in the world. You can only get it with a diamond pickaxe.
Yep.
So you have to get diamonds. So because also Netherite is useless without
Yeah, it's a coating you put on your diamond.
Yeah, which
tools
is like all right.
That
fine.
makes it really good.
But to make one Netherite bar, you need to get 4 ancient debris, which then you smelt into ancient scrap, and then you need to take 3 or 4 gold bars, and then that turns into a Netherite bar, and then using an anvil, you can create a Netherite piece of armor, which is like borderline unbreakable shit, and like the most powerful stuff you can get in the game. And except for the Warden, I believe it's not necessary.
Yeah, it's not necessary,
Yeah.
but it's the best shit in the game.
You want to get it. So now, ancient debris does not spawn with touching an air block. Because the way Minecraft works is that air is a block.
Yeah, okay. And what's wrong with that?
That means you have to go strip mining for it, and they're incredibly rare.
Well, that's the point, is that it's really rare and
I
hard
know,
to
but I
find.
wish it was really rare, but you could still like find it like poking out on the side, or even fucking like make it even harder and to be like, oh, you can find it, but you need like a lava breathing potion because it's only under the lava or something. I just think like strip mining is the most boring task, but people act like it's fine. And there's like there's like techniques where it's like, this is the best way to strip mine. It's like, well, that's boring. You go through all these pickaxes for like no fucking reason. So yeah, I just think finding ancient debris, like, yeah, it's top tier, so it's like obviously it's gonna be hard. I just wish it was earnable in a better way. Or like even make it like a rare drop on like wither skeletons or something. Something that does, like, wither skeletons don't have spawners.
Have a second way to do it. You mean like have an alternate way to do it to things that are also...
You can find, if you find bastion remnants, which is like another version of another fortress.
Well, Ian,
you can find them. But
I've got it for you.
What?
If you can dodge 100 lightning strikes in a row, you'll get it.
1 piece, not a bar. 1 piece of ancient debris.
Yeah. Okay, because I thought you were like One Piece, and I'm like, no, it's a Final Fantasy X joke. Ian.
No, I know. Because you do that, and you get like the best item in the game or something.
You get the best weapon for one of the characters. I forget which.
It's like doing 186 fucking pull-ups in Mass Effect 3. Except that actually gets you nothing except for James going like, oh, damn, loco.
Does it
or
not
Chica.
make him want to fuck you?
I don't want to fucking period, so.
Wait, what?
What? James Vega?
I don't want to fuck what?
Him.
Oh, I think you said I don't want to fuck Imperium. I was like, who?
What?
I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
The Imperium Empire or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, excuse me, Ian?
Yeah.
I don't remember him being like a fucking fascist.
Mm-hmm.
Garrus is, but not him.
Yeah. Fascism is very deeply rooted in like,
in a lot of
all of Mass Effect.
It's very conservative in a lot of ways.
Yeah, well, it's more like they just don't have the discussions about the stuff that we do, but then they're also like, yeah, but we also believe in a police state.
Yeah.
And being mostly militarized.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't look like there's a lot of art that comes from that place anymore. And then all the art they do is, like, ugly modern art structures.
Modern art's cool.
Modern art is fine, but it's not just a sleek fucking, like, piece of metal floating in the air.
Okay, that's not modern art.
What is that?
It's like a different thing. I forget what it is. Modern art is usually just a lot of shit that's like itself trying to build a meta narrative on things.
Like that one fucking like
Everybody
machine that's trying to like put the oil back in itself, and because it's rusting as time goes on, it feels like it sounds like it's screaming sometimes.
Yeah.
And then it'll do like little dances just because it's like a human.
Yeah.
So it's a robot that you're supposed to put human emotion onto it. Yeah, that's modern art. Yeah. That's sick. But when I say modern art, I'm thinking of like the asshole who sees like a bunch of fucking like scribbles on something and be like, my fucking kid could make this.
Yeah, I think that's also good, like in a lot of ways. I think that it's just like itself trying to do things. I'm also somebody who personally thinks like the putting the urinal on the wall next to the paintings is a very smart piece of modern art, and I know a lot of people hate that one.
Yeah.
But I think it's smart because it's like the point is like almost a commentary on like the commercialization of art, and it's like to the point that if you call something art, it can hang up on a wall and like people will pay money for it, and here's a fucking urinal. Right? I think it's smart. Like, you can argue that it's like, well, you know, it's like kind of shitty and rude and angry at stuff, and I'm like, yeah, but that doesn't make it bad art.
Yeah.
You know? Obviously don't pee in it for real, though. That's not chill, because I don't think it's hooked up to anything.
It's just gonna make a fucking thing.
Yeah.
Alright. Comics round 2?
Comic book round 2!
And then I can tell you my adventures in Pokemon.
Sounds good to me. Alright, first up, we got a manga. It's been a little while since I had one of these.
Oh, yeah?
Yep. So the manga is called A Life Turned Upside Down, My Dad's an Alcoholic, which is a true story by Mariko Kikuchi about her life growing up where her father is an alcoholic and her mother is a member of a cult.
Send me a toss. Yeah. Oh, my dick!
Nice. Got him. Right in the dick.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really good. Like, it's a very honest thing that, like, she is able to look at herself and, like, where she belongs in it, and is able to kind of channel her own emotion, and she shows how, like, being in that relationship leads her to, like, become in an abusive romantic relationship because she doesn't really know how to be in romantic relationships because she's only had really poor modeling. It's a really good book. I really recommend it. If you're someone who's like, I really liked my lesbian experience with Loneliness, which is by a different author, it's very similar. It's very much in the same vein. It's also, that's another book that's a true story. But yeah, deals with a lot of like mental illness and stuff, and it's really, the art's nice, but the writing's better.
I got to the page where her father just beats the shit out of her. Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, he only hits her once.
When she says you're not being normal.
Yeah, her boyfriend hits her a bunch more.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Anyway, something that's a lot less depressing. We got the Ghost Fleet, the whole goddamned thing. Now, this is a reprint of a book that's written by Donny Cates with art by Daniel Warren Johnson.
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. So, The Ghost Fleet is a book that is about something really interesting, which is there is this thing which is like inspired by a real thing that existed in history at one point, that was boats during like old school America times. But in this one, it's like there's this ghost fleet of truckers that is essentially like, if you want to send like valuable or dangerous or like illegal or whatever cargo somewhere, like you're gonna contact the ghost fleet, which are like not really the government, but they're like involved and shit. And so there's this really cool, it's a really cool book. Essentially, there's a guy who's a member who, like, the thing he's hauling gets attacked and a bunch of people die, and, you know, he fakes his own death type deal. like,
I'm sorry, 1 second. Did she get married to her boyfriend in this?
No.
All right, cool. I was just flipping through. I saw the page.
They were almost married.
Yeah, no, I saw
They were together
part,
for like 9 years.
I was like flipping through, and then it's the part where they're like in bed, and he just like punches her in the jaw. He's like, "That's called a preemptive strike. Don't get cocky because I'm in a good mood." And he's like he might as well be doing finger guns when he says it.
Yeah.
Like, what a dickhead.
Yeah.
And then, oh man, and then I scrolled towards, I like started rapidly flipping through it, and then it got to the point where her dad was dying.
Yeah.
And she's with someone on like the final page, but it's a very plain art style, so they look like the same guy.
So there's an epilogue that's about her with her current partner.
Good.
Yeah. So the Ghost Fleet, though, on the other hand, is like a really fun book. It's like an action book. This guy, essentially, he's a member of this Ghost Fleet. It's like a group of truckers that does shit that's like highly armed and trained and shit. And so this guy like kind of knows too much, so his partner attempts to like put him down, but then he's like lets him off, but like injures him, and then he's out for vengeance against who hired him and shit. And so he goes out and he's like getting in fights, doing cool action shit, robbing shit. It's fucking fun, dude. There's like, by the end, it gets so ridiculous and over the top and like awesome. Because, it's like, it turns out he's working, like, the guy who's doing the bad shit is essentially like the devil who's like trying to stop the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse from coming. And like, then like the main character gets powered up by war. And it's fucking huge fight and shit. And by the end, like, the world is turned into Mad Max. And it's awesome. It's really great. I know I've just spoiled it for you, but it's really cool. It's a really cool book. You can tell that like it did get the amount of issues reduced as it was coming out, because it wasn't like a sales giant. So like, especially in the back, you can see like, it's like, yeah, we lost like 4 or so issues of this book. So like, if you didn't like the way the story was told, like it's because it was supposed to be longer.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really rad. And on the topic of truckers, this book also features truckers. This is a book called Death and Glory by Rick Remender with art by Bengal. I don't know how to say it.
Yeah.
This is only an 11-issue book, but they have this big prestige edition that's just like an oversized hardcover, which means it's just like big.
Yeah.
But it's like, it only has a few more issues than this, but they decided to make it a bigger boy. But essentially the story of this is that there is a girl named Glory. Her parents raised her like essentially off the grid as truckers that were like independent. And so she's like a really good driver and mechanic type character. And her mom died some years ago, and her dad is now currently dying of cancer. And of course, they've been off the grid. They don't have credit or whatever. They can't get a loan. They can't get medical care.
Yeah.
So she decides, she's like, okay, well, I know my ex-husband is like involved with some kind of shady deal, so I'm gonna try to rob the money out of this fucking criminal shit. And then one of the guys involved is like a guy who has like a gun that shoots liquid nitrogen type deal to freeze shit. And so there's like a big like clattering of shit happening, and the money gets frozen and broken. And then she's like, okay, well, I'm going to steal whatever thing they're transporting. I assume it's drugs. It's not drugs. It's people that are like, illegal immigrants who are being trafficked. And so she teams up with one of them because they thought, oh, well, they're trafficking illegal immigrants to do labor. No, they are trafficking illegal immigrants to steal organs.
Yeah.
And harvest organs from these people, which is like really fucked up. And so then they're like, okay, well, we're gonna rob the place with the organs, and that's not working. So then they wind up having to do like different heists while getting more and more people on their back. It's really fun. By the end, not to say Mad Max again, but by the end there is literally like more than one issue that is an entire car chase with like tons and tons of trucks and one giant crane truck, and it's fucking awesome. But yeah, it's a really cool book that I liked quite a lot. Very fun. And finally, we got Smoke and Ashes, which are two different stories that are sequel. One's a sequel to the other one.
Yeah.
Written by Alex DeCampi. The first one has art by Igor Kordy. The second one has like a bunch of different artists on it. Essentially, Smoke is... Both of these take place in like a near future England.
Yeah.
So the first one is written in 2005. It takes place in the far future year of 2012.
So far.
So far in the future.
Yeah.
And it's like in England, that Harry's the king, and he's like coked out and fucking whoever he wants.
Yeah.
Which is great. It's funny to see like that version of the view of that. I think that's funny. But in reality, it's like a political thing where it's like government of Britain along with OPEC, which is the oil and gas thing. They're doing this fucked up thing, and there's a journalist involved, and there's an ex-soldier involved who is like currently an assassin.
Yeah.
Who are trying to essentially find themselves involved in this like sort of half fake terrorist plot. And it's like a really fun like political satire book that like has good character stuff in it. Its sequel, Ashes, is essentially like the first Ghost in the Shell movie. I don't know what the manga of Ghost in the Shell is like, because I mean the movie is like not really based on any manga stories from Ghost in the Shell, but it's like cool. It's like kind of the thing people actually care to remember about it. So like, you know, it's very similar to, like there's a character who is very similar to the Puppet Master from Ghost in the Shell. And the second story, like, it's really good, but it's less good than the first one. But the first one feels like almost like it was the last. It almost feels like. Let me know if you can tell what this means out there, because somebody out there is going to be like, "Oh, I feel that."
Yeah.
It's like the first one feels like the last Vertigo comic from the '90s book to ever be written. Like, even though it's from 2005, it just like has that vibe of like all those like classic Vertigo books, like Preacher and like Transmetropolitan and all those like late 90s Vertigo titles.
Yeah.
Like Hellblazer and shit, like all those things that were going on there. And like especially in the art, and like so there's something about it that I find really charming, because it's like this thing that's like the cool 90s comics that weren't shitty and dumb. Whereas like the second one is from 2013. And so it's like of that era, and like even though it's like a good sequel and it's like it's well made, it's just, I don't know, like there's something about something a little bit more classic that feels aged but like is still good.
Yeah.
I don't know, like it's like you ever like see a movie from like 5 years ago that's like, yeah, this thing's good, but like this other thing that's older just like has a texture and feel to it that I appreciate, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not super easy to put into words, but yeah, hell yeah. Comics are cool. Ian, talk about Pokemon.
So I've been doing a Nuzlocke. I officially started it last Saturday night when I got home from the concert. Me and Anthony, via the power of capture cards in Discord.
Wait, I think you started it before, because I feel like you talked about it already.
I talked about my intention to start it.
Oh, okay.
No, I literally started it on that Saturday.
Okay.
Because it was right after the show. We were supposed to start on Friday, but then I went out and got drunk with people instead. I told them we all went to Lionheart. And then we all went back to my house.
Yeah.
And then I drank until fucking 5 a.m. And then I had to come here and do the podcast. And
I love that for you.
To the show. Yeah, no, I fucking hated it. I was up until 4 a.m. yesterday and I wanted to die.
Oh, by the way, we didn't mention this week. So if you're a YouTube viewer, you might be like, oh, why'd the numbering skip one? And you also missed putting out one last week. It's because last week's was audio only.
Yeah.
Because my computer was fucked up, and then Ian fixed it, and I gave him a big fat kiss on the mouth.
Yeah. So I started it when I got home. Me and Anthony are streaming it to each other. I had to go fuck around with my entire desktop setup.
Did you just blaze through the first gym leader in one hit?
No, I actually have been taking my time because it's a Nuzlocke.
But you can just fucking devastate all of the first gym leaders' Pokemon in one hit if you picked either the green or blue.
I picked the green
starter. As long as you didn't pick the red one,
yeah,
you can one hit all of them.
He's a fucking idiot.
Well, he's at least the worst for the first gym leader. I don't know if he's the worst overall. But...
The second gym leader is, I think, also bad for him. Oh, you know what? Let me just look up Diamond and Pearl gyms. DP gyms.
Nice.
And of course, I wrote do gyms, so it's gonna be like, do gyms require vaccine passports? Yes, you fucking idiot.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. So first gym. Okay, so the first gym is rock type. Mm-hmm. So yeah, fire type is not great, but if you over level him, get like the
if you grind him up a bit,
if you get him to his second evolution, which is at level 16, which you kind of want to, because the Cranidos that fucking Rourke has almost wiped my team, or like was like set up that if I had just kept having to use potions. Second gym, man will fuck it up. Third gym, it becomes like less useful. Mm-hmm. Fourth gym, useless because it's all water types. Mm-hmm. Fifth gym, useless because it's ghost types, not in the sense that it'll die quickly, in the sense that it can't hit them because it's a fighting type Pokemon. Mm-hmm. Ghost can't be hit by fighting type. Sixth is steel. It's like, I don't know, it's like steel but also ground. It's weird. So kind of yeah, you know what? It's fine. I just hate the Pokemon. I think it's a very bland
That's fair.
Pokemon. So because you know the rules,
I feel like Pokemon has a lot, and I could be wrong, but I feel like Pokemon is a lot more like tier listy than other RPGs.
Absolutely.
That are open.
Yeah.
Like it, because like, you know, certain Final Fantasies, and especially like the easy ones like 10. Mm-hmm. In 10, there are simply like weapons that are better. Yeah. And like, yeah, you can, there is like, yes, you can do sphere grid shit that min maxes, especially if you use the expert sphere grid. Like, but ultimately, like, if you are a certain amount into Final Fantasy X, you are a certain level, pretty much guaranteed, unless you grind.
If it's a Gen 1 Pokemon that requires a trade evolution, it's pretty much OP in Pokemon. Like, straight up. So I got, you know the rules of a Nuzlocke, right?
Yeah, if they die, they're dead.
They die, they're dead. You have to nickname every single one of your Pokemon.
Yeah.
So I try and like nickname my Pokemon based off of references and stuff. Mm-hmm. Such as I have a female Machoke, or Machamp actually. You know the fucking the Pokemon that just has 4 arms.
Yep.
Named Shimura, because I couldn't think of any muscle women, so I just was like, well, Nana Shimura from My Hero Academia. So there we go. Got a Roserade that's named Leah, because she evolves from Roselia. Then I got a Gengar, which, you know, is a ghost type Pokemon.
Yeah.
Named Ryan's dad. And no one else in my Discord understood the naming of that, but I was like muted for a minute, and Anthony just sent me a message on the side, and he's like, that's a savage name. Then I got a Blissey named Round, because that's the shape they are. Mm-hmm. I have a Rapidash named Horse
Program. I thought you would probably name it Watame after Watame, because isn't Blissey a sheep?
Yes. Watame.
The Pollev.
Yeah, I forget them. Then I have a Rapidash named Horse Program, because I couldn't think of anything. But then I was like, all right, Rapidash is pretty much a My Little Pony. Mm-hmm. I was gonna. Then I thought of that video called Cartoon Horse Program.
Yeah.
And then I got an egg, which is gonna have a Riolu, which I don't know if I'm gonna use or not.
Mm-hmm.
I lost my starter. Like
already?
Yeah. Well, I'm on like the 6th or 7th gym now.
Oh, I thought you were saying you haven't fought any gym leaders.
No, you asked if I wiped the first gym leader, and I said no. He almost wiped me.
Oh, he almost wiped you?
Because his Cranidos has high defense, and but Cranidos has an ability that his moves that he does with his head do extra damage. Oh. So Headbutt was doing like triple damage and almost killing my Turtwig on every hit. And my Turtwig is slower than his Cranidos.
Yeah.
So it would be like I'd have to. Got the first hit off. It did 75%. He got his health back, but I also had low health, and I forgot that he was just going to use a super potion, so I fucking went again. I pretty much was caught in like a 10 turn thing. of like only using potions. So I got stuck with that. That's not what killed him though. He got killed by like some bullshit later on. There's a Gyarados in the rain, and I didn't know this. The move Waterfall, when Gyarados uses it, is very powerful. It has like 80 base. It's one of the only physical water types in that gen. Like it's like Waterfall and Aqua Tail are the only ones. So with Gyarados' naturally high attack and an 80 base fucking Waterfall, and it's raining, it did 200 damage.
Oh shit!
And wiped out like 3 members of my team before I could kill it. And I lost my boy Sequoia, which was my Turtwig, because he was going to be a mighty tree, but he never got there.
Damn.
Because he only got to it. He was like a level off from becoming fucking the man, the myth, Torterra. Who, once you get Earthquake on that guy, he can tank most things and will destroy anything else. I lost my Luxio, which is like this electric lion Pokemon. And his name was Sasuke. Because
anyway, let's talk about Hawkeye.
So no, we're not gonna talk about Hawkeye.
No, I know.
But then and then I lost my boy Alakazam. Can't remember what his name was now. But the real MVP of my team, Nathan, is a Crobat named Bruce. Because he's Batman. Yeah. So anyways, Pokemon. The actual game, it's not bad. There's a lot of issues. I've seen the stupidest fucking takes ever. Like, you know, Pokemon fans.
Yeah.
But, like, someone was like, when you meet Cynthia in the game, you meet her, like, as, like, the chibi overworld form that everyone is in. And someone was like, oh, I will not simp for this woman when she looks like this. It's like, yeah, but you simped for her when she was a fucking pile of pixels? Like, in fucking Gen 4 when she first shows up? Like, shut the fuck up. Little
Every
fucking
character
babies.
in Pokemon is, like, 10 to 15 years old.
Cynthia's, like, in her 30s. She's the league champion.
When you get into battles with people, though, in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Diamond,
yes,
they look good.
They look like
Have you never played it? Okay, I'm not talking to you, but have you ever played to audience? Have you never played a fucking RPG on like the SNES or a fucking PS1? Like in the overworld, the characters look chibi.
Yeah.
And in the fucking battles, they look normal.
Doesn't even Final Fantasy VII do that?
Yes.
Where like Cloud is like Cloud, Barrett, and Tifa are just like
chibi versions, and then when you're in battles, they look normal, and in cutscenes, they look normal. Like this is a normal thing to have in classic style JRPGs, and like it was true in Diamond and Pearl. Even
that's what I'm saying. That's why it's so fucking stupid. It's so dumb. These people complaining. They're. Also, the Pokemon following behind you thing
is cool.
It's cool. It's not as implemented as well as it was in
Yellow.
No, Soul Silver and Heart Gold, which was the last games to have it before.
Oh, I didn't know they had following in that.
It was a huge thing in that one, and it felt like it was going to be a main thing in the franchise, and then they dropped it in Gen 5. So, because, you know, you only had like your 4 points of movement in Gen 4 because it wasn't an analog stick game, your Pokemon would always just pretty much like whatever space you were just in, they would occupy. But now that it's 3D, they don't want like you to be locked as close, like the Pokemon get as close to you. Also, it's like
just in case
it has collision, so it gets like if you run past something, it can get stuck behind it, but then it will just teleport behind you. But then there's Pokemon that have different walking speeds and shit.
Yeah.
So when I start running a lot, like if I had like,
you'll outrun your Pokemon.
You will outrun your Pokemon so easily. So it's really fucking stupid like that.
Do you ride some of them when they walk behind you?
No, only HMs. It's not like Pokemon Let's Go, where you could like ride on an Arcanine and stuff.
Yeah.
Or ride your Charizard.
Because like the vibe is like, why would I run with my Rapidash behind me?
Yeah. So also they've gotten they have gotten rid of HMs as being moves that Pokemon actually have to learn.
Oh yeah.
And they have done the Gen 7 thing, which is that you get a thing where you call a Pokemon to do stuff for you. But the joke is that Bidoof and Bibarel were HM slaves that could learn every fucking HM except for Defog and Fly.
Yeah.
So when you need to use like when you first get it, like it's like, oh, use the HM collar on your fucking like Poke Etch. It's just supposed to like Poke Watch, but it's like Poke Etch or whatever.
Poke Etch.
Yeah. Oh, that makes sense. Poke Etch. So you use it, and then it says a Bidoof it shows up out of nowhere and chops the tree down with its mighty fangs.
That's great.
Because they're like beavers, and then it's like same with Rock Smash. It's like a Bidoof shows up and uses its tail and destroys the rock in your path. Or it's like you get strength, and it's like a barrel shows up and pushes the rock out of the way for you.
That's great.
Same with surfing. It's just a barrel spawns underneath you that you get to hop onto, and you like ride it around like a surfboard.
That's awesome.
Let's see, there was this thing. Oh, and then for defog and fly, it's Staravia or Staraptor, because you need a flying Pokemon for that. Because it's not like Pikachu with the balloons, or Eevee with the balloons in Pokemon Let's Go. So yeah, there's some really good quality of life stuff in this game. It's very easy Nuzlocke, especially like there's a lot of repeating Pokemon.
Yeah.
In Gen 4 especially, so like with dupe claws on by default, because that you should for Nuzlocks, to be honest, or else you're gonna have a team full of barrels. You can you catch one Bidoof, you never have to catch another one again. You catch one fucking Starly, never have to do it again.
Yeah.
So I'm like manipulating the RNG right now where I need to, if I catch a Bronzor, I can go into the cave that Gibble spawns in and guaranteed to get a Gibble.
Nice.
Yeah. So I'm just kind of playing it like that. I'm hoping I get a Swinub on the route because he's my favorite. He's a nice little boy.
I'm guessing he's a pig.
He's like a boar.
Okay.
Because when you start him when he's real small, he's like very furry, but he does have like a pig's nose. He actually kind of looks like a mole. And then his second evolution makes him look like a woolly mammoth. And then his third evolution is just like, I have big hand now and tusk. Because Gen 4 added in a ton of final evolutions for Gen 2 Pokemon that only had 2 stages. It was honestly, Gen 4 was like, I said this in the Discord and everyone was like, don't say that. I was like, Gen 4 is the Gen 2 of Pokemon games. Because in Generation 1 of Pokemon, it was an incomplete game. Like, it was a very rough game for, well, like, now it is. But at the time, it was amazing. And then Gen 2 comes out. They fix up a bunch of stuff. They add evolutions for Pokemon. Like, they added in 2 new evolutions. They added in a bunch of more concepts. It's like, it's a sequel to Gen 1. And then Gen 3 comes out. They don't really add much. In fact, it was like, it had the whole roster, but that's only because you needed 360 Pokemon.
Yeah.
And then Gen 4 happens.
And I remember Diamond and Pearl at the time feeling like special. Like it felt like, maybe it was because it was the first one on the DS, but
I think it was also the 10-year anniversary of Pokemon.
That too, right? Yeah. It came out and that one was huge in a way that like the previous ones weren't.
Yeah, because also it added like Electabuzz. Or okay, you know what actually Gen 2 added baby forms for Pokemon. So like
Pichu.
Yeah, they added Pichu.
Kumquat.
They added Elekid to Electabuzz. Magby for Magmortar. Or, I mean, Magmar.
They added Schleem.
Want to try that again?
They added Schleem, the Pokemon.
Schleem the Pokemon?
Yeah.
I guess I'm not familiar with that
one. He evolves into Muck.
Incorrect.
Yeah.
No, Grimer evolves into Muck.
No. Schleem evolves into Muck because Muck is come backwards.
And Schleem's
Schleem. I don't need to explain what Schleem is to you, Ian.
You're such a fucking dick. His name is actually Meechel. Because Meechel is Schleem backwards. Yeah, so like Gen 2 added all the babies. And then Gen 4 was like, we're going to add all the adults. So, like, a Pokemon for Gen 1, the 2 Pokemon, Electabuzz and Magmar.
Yeah.
Gen 2 got kid versions of themselves. Gen 4 got final versions of themselves.
Yeah.
Same with, like, Magnemite got Magnezone.
That Alphabet one got the Alphabet more.
Alphabet one?
Yeah.
Like what?
I don't know. Unknown? Is that what it's called?
Unknown is still a single form.
Yeah, I know. It's fucking
sorry.
I'm sorry. I just want to have jokes in here because I'm like, Yeah, this is still Pokemon, and I like Ian liking it, but I want to say something funny.
Because you didn't grow up with it.
I did grow up with it. I just didn't grow up playing them.
Okay, yes. Sorry.
I watched the anime, and I think we agree on this. Digimon is a better anime than Pokemon.
For sure.
Like, people want to talk shit. Okay, yes, the thing that Digimon is based on, like Pokemon's based on a card game and video game. Digimon's based on a thing that was just a ripoff Tamagotchi.
Yeah.
But the anime of Digimon
has like an actual overarching
is really
story.
fucking good.
Yeah.
It's not like Monster of the Week bullshit. Like, it's actually
it
like,
is for a bit, but there's like someone.
But there's
it's
a
like
story.
it's a Monster of the Week how like Sailor Moon is a monster of the
Yeah,
week.
it's got more of a story to it. It's got more like character development.
Yeah.
It's like, it feels like a real TV show.
It's got like cool evolutions that like can come and go and don't have to stay.
And now, and I think this is going to be a little controversial.
What?
Digimon has a better theme song.
Well, okay. Are we just considering? Are we just like doing?
I'm not
Digimon,
saying more
Digital
iconic.
Monsters. Digimon are the champions.
We're going
versus the
Pokemon
original.
theme. Yeah.
I want to be the very best. Like no one ever was.
Okay, the Pokemon theme is much more iconic. The Digimon theme was better.
You know what's funny actually?
Yeah.
On the way into the show, like when Jeff was coming on at the Jeff Rosenstock show, they played the Pokemon theme and everyone in the crowd started singing it.
Pokemon. I'm not talking shit. The Pokemon theme's good.
Okay, I think Pokemon theme.
Digimon Digital Monster fucking slap.
I think the Pokemon theme is better than the Digimon theme, but the Digimon theme is better than the Poké Rap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in what? I'll tell you this. There is no Pokemon movie yet that features the song 1 Week by Bare Naked Ladies.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, it's been 1 week.
Yeah, but there's no Digimon movie that has fucking Mewtwo talking about the gift of life.
You don't know that.
You're right. I've only
the
seen
first Digimon movie is 3 movies
yes,
put together.
I've only seen the first 3 Digimon movies, and then I tried to watch the new series. I tried to watch Digimon Try and got fucking bored.
But the remake of Digimon Adventures, we watched the first few episodes of together.
And I
it was
thought
quite
of
good.
continuing it, but I was just like,
it was good, but I just
oh, it's like I already know it.
I didn't need to watch it again.
Yeah.
I might still eventually.
It's cool for kids now.
Yeah, but they don't have the Digimon because obviously the world is lacking in Canadian dubs.
Yeah. Now Funimation is like ruining all
fucking
shit.
Funimation. It's like, oh, every dub is like just good and not great or terrible. And it's like before, all anime dubs were either fantastic or terrible.
Yeah.
Cowboy Bebop, fantastic.
Pokemon, terrible.
Pretty
sometimes.
terrible. The original One Piece dub, terrible. Except for the theme song.
I think Jesse and James are the best parts of Pokemon.
Yep.
Always.
Have you ever
no competition?
Have you seen Base Jesse and Ash?
Put those women back in the kitchen where they belong.
We'll send those women back to the Dark Ages where they belong. Yeah.
I love Jesse and James.
They're so good. They're honestly great.
They are also you know what's funny? Better trainers than Ash.
Yeah.
But worse
they've
battlers.
trained a fucking Pokemon to speak English.
No, they didn't.
Whatever.
Meowth taught himself how to speak English.
Okay.
And then it was to impress a female Meowth who
wasn't into it. She's like,
she thought he was a freak and ran away.
Okay, my mom's texting me that we need to be finished soon.
That's fine.
Okay. So the first 2 episodes of Hawkeye came out, and Ian hasn't seen them. We'll talk about the first 3 episodes next week. So far, though, I will say I really enjoy it, and I'm happy what they've done with the show.
I'm going to hate it now because Nathan just spoiled my entire enjoyment of it.
Spoiler alert, I think it's good.
Spoiler alert, I don't hate it.
All right, guys, we'll see you next time. If you want to see the video versions of this podcast, you can go to youtube.com/N8SComedy.
I'm wearing a fun new hat.
Ian is wearing a fun hat. I'm wearing nail polish because Ian nail polish pilled me, and I'm now deep into the nail polish. I'm a nail polish cell, and I'm just gonna get more and more radicalized.
You're gonna fucking show up wearing like bright pink nail polish and be like, "Hello, boys."
I'm gonna get sparkly. When I was looking for black nail polish on Amazon when I was buying my own, I saw a sparkly purple one, and I'm like, okay, I can't pull that off on like a day to day like the black one. But God, part of me was like, I want attention.
Well, good thing that you don't like have to go to work.
Yeah,
so you can actually just do it whenever you want.
Yeah, but yeah, so if you want to see us, youtube.com/NAScomedy. We got video versions of pretty much every episode of the podcast since like, I don't know, 6 months ago, maybe more at this point, maybe a year at this point.
When
who knows?
Quarantine ended for us.
Yeah, the first time. And then we did video versions remotely.
Oh yeah, we did
too. But yeah, so like definitely maybe a year of video.
Probably
versions.
almost a year.
But yeah, so like that, we got that, but except for last week. Last week was audio exclusive. So you can find us on pretty much any audio podcast app that you want. We're on fucking Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. You're probably not going to find us with The Media Hole, which is stupid because like there are bigger podcasts that have the words The Media and Hole in their name and description.
Yeah.
But if you type into Spotify, Nathan and Ian, which is in the description for every episode of this podcast because there are names.
There's no other podcast hosted by a Nathan and an Ian simultaneously.
Or at least we're the most famous one.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can find us on there and follow me at The Media Hole on Twitter, at The Media Hole on TikTok, and at twitch.tv/The Media Hole, and at www.whenyourballs.get stuck to your like.tumblr.com. And you can find Ian at StrugglesV on every platform. He's recently come under fire for saying that, I don't know, he loves Bobby Kotick. All right, guys. Thanks so much.
The fuck?
See you next time. Bye-bye.